Welcome to the den. Big talk, no bark. Welcome to the den. Kings don't flinch, we don't follow trends. Truth gets raw when the lions defend. So take a seat, speak up where the real men vent. Mic on fire, wisdom in the pen. Respect ain't given, gotta earn it in the den. No mask, no lies, no safe pretend. This ain't a show, it's the lion's den. I've been stamped up, borders don't bind me. Dropping truth bombs from Ghana to the Thai seas. YouTube sold you dreams of beach queens and flights, but I show you real talk, not thumbnails and hype. Ain't about flexing, I'm exposing the game, where culture meets choices, not clout for fame. Black man travels, I elevate the route, not just girls in the frame, but what manhood's about. Borders don't bind me, dropping truth bombs from Ghana to the Thai seas. YouTube sold you dreams of beach queens and flights, but I show you real talk, not thumbnails and hype. Ain't about flex, I'm exposing the game, where culture meets choices, not clout for fame. Black man travels, I elevate the route, not just girls in the frame, but what manhood's about. What manhood's about. What manhood's about. I'm fearless with the data, cut from a rare breed. Cyber-trained vet with the tools that you need. Break bread on the mic, blueprinting your mission. From crypto to code, I decode your position. Been married 7 deep, still sharp as a tack. Talk legacy, freedom, how to never look back. Podcast ain't therapy, it's elite consultation. You step in here, respect the conversation. Warrior poet, seasoned vet with scars and lessons. Call me Ronin Lone Wolf, but I lead the pride. Gulf War scars and a sharper mind. From Somalia's heat to boardroom biz, I've lived 10 lives just to speak like this. PTSD in my rear view, still moving with poise. Now I show these young kings how to silence the noise. No gimmicks, no scripts, just war-tested truth. This ain't YouTube clout, this is mentoring youth. Big talk, no bark, welcome to the den. Alpha minds only, we don't blend in. Voice of the voiceless, fatherhood and grit. Step to the mic and don't ever quit. Don't ever quit. Welcome to the den. Welcome to the den. Alpha minds only, we don't blend in. Voice of the voiceless, fatherhood and grit. Step to the mic and don't ever quit.
Yeah. All right. Another Friday night. Another Lion's Den. Brother staying busy out here. How you guys doing?
They trying to make me work. I don't know what's up with that. They trying to make a brother work a little bit. I'm trying to hire 2 people. That's crazy within itself, and it's just they making me work, and I'm trying to do some other things on the side, trying to work on some things. It's crazy out here. It is crazy. What's going on with you guys?
Man, Philippines been raining a lot. They have a typhoon warning right now, but typically where I'm at on the island of Luzon, there's a huge mountain range on the east coast of the island. So a typhoon literally has to jump over this huge mountain range to get to us. So the majority of the time, what we'd have to worry about here in a mountainous area is flooding, but and heavy rains, obviously. So it's been raining a lot. The heat's decent. You know, it's hot, humid, but I expected that. That's nothing too far off of Houston. So I'm good with that. How you doing, Kunal?
Everything's well, man. Just taking one day at a time, just coming in with the family. Went to a multicultural festival. So,
all right.
It's just coming back in right now. Getting situated.
You talking about hot, man? It is 9:30 at night, and it's 92 degrees here. That's crazy.
Yeah, I heard y'all were going in on Texas weather right now.
Yeah,
It was going in there.
How can it be 9 o'clock at night and still be 90-something degrees? But that's all right. You know, I'd rather be in the. I guess we got the heat from the sun, and Shannon Sharpe got the heat. He got different kind of heat. Let's discuss what's going on out here, man. I'm really wanting to get into this because I think there's some unfairness that's been going on. I've seen a lot in the news where, not just with him, just with guys in general, how we just getting bamboozled, hoodwinked, taken over, try to do the right thing, and we still getting it wrong. And,
all right, let's start off with a little preemptive video so we can bring people up to speed on what's really going on when it comes to him.
Shannon Sharpe, once a shining star in sports commentary, was abruptly let go by ESPN amid a stunning sexual assault scandal. The allegations are jaw-dropping. Sharpe was accused by a former girlfriend of rape, manipulation, and threats during a private relationship. This is no ordinary complaint. Though Sharpe vehemently denied all charges, calling them blackmail, he ultimately agreed to a massive $50 million settlement to avoid prolonged legal battles. That figure stunned everyone and highlights how serious and complex the situation was. ESPN initially suspended him after the scandal broke, with plans for him to return before the NFL season. But once the settlement was announced, ESPN cut all ties with him immediately to protect its image. This scandal didn't just end Sharpe's broadcast career, it exposed the dark realities lurking behind celebrity glamour. No wonder.
All right.
First of all, they said that's his girlfriend.
Right.
And
there's a lot of misinformation. Yes.
Yeah, it's not his girlfriend, and that should actually be one of the safest transactions you can have. Meaning, it's not your girlfriend. You know, it's just a fantasy transaction. I can do whatever I want. You know, and the thing was, he was kind of smart where he says, I'm going to keep the same person around, so whatever fantasy I want to do, she kind of understands me. We understand each other. We kind of on the same wavelength, and that should be it. And I think that he got very much extorted. And the worst thing, see, this is what he did. The mistake he made. And if I was a lawyer, I would have said this: if I'm going to pay her some money, I don't think he paid her $50 million, but if I was going to give her any money,
I got some information on that.
If I was going to give her any money, it would have been on a conditional basis that I get my contract signed with ESPN. Because what he did was, the reason that contract went on hold was because of this allegation. So, all right, I would have said, look, you know, all of this is conditional. If I don't get no money from ESPN, we just go to court. If you don't get your contract and your money, then all these allegations really mean nothing, because it took you away from your money anyway. So just say, you know what? I ain't get paid. You're not getting paid. Let's go to court. Because anything they say, the reason he was trying to not go to court was the defamation and things on his character. He didn't want to come out. But once they cut your money, it don't matter what come out. Now what? I just say let it go. Ain't nobody met. Look, you hear what Diddy did, and girls was still trying to get with him. So it don't matter what he could bring dudes over, watch this, walk around naked. It don't matter, because if he gets out, girls still gonna line up to be with him.
Yeah, I mean, when you're popular like that, it's not a hard stretch that it's going to be an overall problem. And you'll see from some of these other videos. I think he steps on his own toes sometimes. He alerts a lot of people to his situation that's going on instead of trying to take care of it before it becomes a big problem. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
This man was a walking arrogant.
Yeah.
I don't feel sorry for this man. He deserves everything he's getting right now. He deserves it.
Oh man, that's so wrong, man.
No.
No, so imagine in your exploits when you was out there that you brought a girl back and all of a sudden she won all your money. And you know why? Because now she about to call Bank of America or wherever you work and try to come at you.
I mean,
and
granted,
say
that
what you did.
relationship was already set up that way.
What's that?
Their relationship was already set up that way, so it was just a matter of time.
When you say set up that way, what kind of way?
I mean, she was paid for play. That's what it was. He gave her a monthly allowance to the point where he's allowed to do anything he wants to her. She agreed with it, but once she decided to move on, she felt like, hey, you know what? You're playing me for a sucker, so I'm gonna hit your wallet.
Yeah, but when you say that, she already knew where she stood. He had other relationships. It's where she got confused. She was getting paid to wanting to have a full-blown relationship and be the number one. He had another chick. And before we get too far into this, I want to start showing you, and I agree with you, Kunal. He's a walking demonstration of what you should not be doing in the public eye, especially when you have so much as far as income and financial gains from your public appearance and how you're perceived, your public perception. But we remember back in the day, right? This is the same brother that had the IG issue.
But guys, this was not staged. Came in, I threw my phone on the bed, gazed in an activity. I did not know IG Live. I've never been on IG Live. I've never turned IG Live on. So I don't know how it works. And so all of a sudden, my other phone is going off and people are calling me FaceTime that I've never talked to a day in my life on FaceTime. And it didn't, I'm like, why are y'all calling me FaceTime? And after a while, Jamie Fritz, who's been my longtime marketing guy, he finally got through to me and he says, Shannon, you on IG Live. I'm like, doing what? I'm like, what am I on IG Live for?
Okay, that's all we need to hear. So that same dude, you would think by now, this brother would already learned his lesson.
But what lesson was he supposed to learn? That's what I want to figure out. What lesson y'all want him to learn?
Keep your relationships offline. Low
He
key.
didn't have them online. What do you mean? He didn't go around saying I'm banging a OnlyFans model.
Oh yeah. If you go into the story even more, he was blasting that to his friends. He was talking about it with Ocho Cinco.
But here's the thing: the things I talk to you about, the things I talk to Black Man Travels about, are not the same things I'm talking to the public about. So I'm not blasting it to the public. My friendship or my conversations among us is different. That's like if me and Black Man Travel, we go to Cuba and he have fun or he do something there. That's different than him saying it online or letting people know what he did. It's two different avenues. So he didn't blast nothing out there. They put his business out there.
Okay. Black Man Travels.
Like I said, I think he put his business out there. He was warned plenty of times by his colleagues to find someone his age.
It's funny you bring that up. I have that clip for you too.
And I don't know. I just felt like, you know what, he became kind of arrogant in a way where to the point where everything revolves around him. And you know what? Hey, bite the dust, man.
Here's that very clip, so we have it fresh in our brain.
Grateful I'm not 56 and trying.
But you tried to say what you tried to say.
I'm looking right at you.
I know you looking at me.
I ain't backing down. You better take your old ass and get somebody to love you.
Damn, Mo.
Now I'm looking right at y'all. Let me tell y'all what Shannon needs.
Let me
tell you what my baby needs. He need him an old fat gal who can bake good cakes, make some smothered turkey wings, who gonna rub his feet at the nighttime, okay, and gonna have a sip of his cognac to make him feel better about himself when he come home at night. That's what Shannon needs. You don't need no 26-year-old girl. You don't need no 36-year-old girl. This is your auntie talking to you. Take your old ass and get you an old bitch out there that can love you old. You trying to hang out with these young bitches and you can't do it, Shannon. You just can't do it. When they want you to go for the 4th round, you looking at her like, bitch, listen, I need you want some money to go to Starbucks?
Yeah,
because I can't go no further. But if you get your older girl, when you get to that 4th round, she's gonna say, hold on. Let me go get you some eggs and cheese and some toast with apple butter, because that's gonna get your energy back up. I'm talking right to you. Shit. So he thought I was gonna be scared. Yes, I'm talking, and I know an old gal, she'll be good to you. Her name is Elladora.
So my thing would be, Ronan, where your Elladora at? You ain't got no Elladora. Black man,
you ain't got no Elladora. You ain't got one either.
I don't want an Elladora. No, I know I don't want no Elladora. Shit.
But here's the thing. I don't think either one of nobody on this panel right now was leading with their wallet. I guarantee you we weren't. But you know that brother was. And everybody knows who he is.
But I don't think you leading with your wallet when it's a transactional. It is. I mean, that's just what it is. You basically are leading with your wallet. Because what you're saying is, I'm paying you for full discretion. I don't want no commitment. I don't want no children. I don't want your time. I don't want any of that. I want this moment, and I'm willing to pay for this moment. It's just like if you pay for steak at the restaurant, you ain't paying to go back there and cook and clean and do the dishes. I'm paying for a meal. And after that meal, I'm gone. That's all. That's all I want is a meal. I don't want anything else. And I'm willing to pay for a service. And that service should not cost me $20 million. 15. It shouldn't cost nowhere near that amount. And nowhere should be blackmailed. That's insane to me that you pay for something and your payment for it is supposed to include something. What happened to the old school hoes? The old school hoes knew their place. The old school hoes knew, hey, this is what it is. I'm not talking to your wife. I'm not talking to your boss. I'm not talking to nobody. This is just a discreet thing. And that's what I'm here for. It's a service I provide. When did that service become more than what it is?
But that's what Monique is saying. She's saying, hey, go get you an old school girl. Stop messing with these young hoes. You won't get in trouble.
He got a 6-pack. He don't want no old Elladora.
Lord. Elladora ain't got to be fat. Come on, Black Man Travels. I know you got something.
Sound fat. You know Elladora, the name sound fat.
No, I'm wondering if she was of another ethnic group, would this receive this amount of attention?
Good question.
Because we all know that Shannon has a preference. He made that clear years ago. He has a certain preference. So
he did do that.
In the case, if this person was this complexion, that's the real question. And the way they position it was that he's the predator, she's the victim. Especially those voicemails that ain't help him.
But don't you think that's a position for athletes as a whole, Black athletes specifically? We're always presented as the aggressor, the bad guy in any relationship, whether she was white or Black, but more so it's accentuated when she's white or some other cultural like race.
I'm not sure. I mean, yes, that plays a role, but for someone like Shannon, the age difference played a huge factor. This week, I posted on my Facebook group as well as in my private Facebook page about age difference. Why is it a big deal within the United States of there being an age difference between a man and a woman? And the comment section went crazy, men and women. And at the end of the day, the United States put a lot of emphasis on that. When they hear a man that's in his 50s dating with a 19-year-old, that's a big red flag, especially here in this country.
But see, here's what I say. I see in the comment, they say Shannon wouldn't have had this problem if he went overseas. I think that's incorrect. And I want to say that it's women in general. And when I say women in general, when you had, what's the girl from South Africa? Charlie, what is that woman's name? The white lady. Well, whoever she is, I'll get her name here in a moment. What is it? It's like Charlie something from South Africa.
I don't even know who you're referring to at this point. I'm curious.
Charlize Theron.
Oh, Solis Theron.
Yeah.
Solis.
When she said, I'm not married, I got 2 kids, and I knock boots with a 25-year-old and I'm 50. They gave her an applause. Oh, that's great. When what's the woman Ross? What's that Ross name?
Oh, Diana Ross's daughter, Tracy Ellis Ross.
Mm-hmm. When she said, yeah, I don't want no old dude, I'll go with the young dudes. Nobody had an issue. Not even a problem. So it only seems to be when a man does this, we get vilified. When a woman does it, they get applauded for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's very true. We're always, especially being black men, we're always vilified in every situation. There is no one situation you can show me anywhere on the news today where we have always been non-vilified or portrayed as a victim in a case.
And when I say men, this is what I mean in general. I think earlier today I had seen it, but you sent me something, Ronan. You sent me the guy, the white guy that went over to Medellin and got scoped. But if you listen to prior, what happened is, because they said, you know, take your things overseas. Well, prior to that, he was dating a woman in the United States. Dating, not married. He found out when he broke up with her, they said, oh, well, you've been with her long enough, and that's common law marriage. She took his gems. She took his money, half of his assets, and he was not married. That happened in the United States. So he goes over to Medellin, and what happens? He gets scoped. And I want you to think about this. He gets scoped to the fact that when he found the girl walking around in the park, he grabbed her. Now, he almost died. Remember, he got scoped, woke up 15, 16 hours later. Credit card's gone. She done ran up $10,000, $15,000, took his laptop. Only thing he had left was his passport. He went back 30 days later, seen her walking in the park, grabbed her. And you know what the police said? Well, we could arrest you for grabbing her. Nothing about him just almost dying. Nothing about her taking all this money. It was, we still going to protect her. So it doesn't matter where we go in the world. We can say that sometimes the world just treats men a little bit different.
I agree with you. But this specific brother, we talking about Shannon Sharpe now.
Mm-hmm.
He likes to keep his name in the media. He's almost like a Donald Trump. I swear to God, every so many months, there's something going on with Shay. Always something. You know, there's a new drama that's going on. He's being sued for defamation of character. That's where the 20 million's coming in at.
Well, they threw that out. Him and Ocho, they got sued, but that federal lawsuit got thrown out.
Right, but here's the nutshell of what was going on with that. Let me go ahead and play this video real quick.
Jamalita Tillman back in April when her surprise moment at an Usher concert in London went viral.
She's getting a lot of attention again, this time, though, for a lawsuit against 2 big-name podcasters. Tia is here to break it all down. Tia?
Now, you guys remember when we actually spoke to her, that was back in April. Jamalita Tillman made it clear then that she was single after the signature cherry-eating moment during an Usher concert went viral. But now she's filing a $20 million civil lawsuit against former athletes turned podcaster Shannon Sharpe, his media company Chad Ochocinco Johnson, and their producer.
I'm single, not married, not going through a divorce, but it was just a fan participation moment.
Copy of the lawsuit originally filed in Cook County Circuit Court on April 24th, just 4 days after another lawsuit was filed against Shannon Sharpe, accusing him of sexual assault, a case he has since settled. Now, Jimalita Tillman's suit has moved to federal court in Chicago, where she's suing for libel and defamation. In the lawsuit, Tillman claims that on April 12th, Sharpe and co-host Chad Ochocinco Johnson recorded an episode of their podcast Nightcap where they falsely claimed she was married and going through a divorce after her viral appearance at the Usher concert, implying that she played a role in the breakup. But according to Tillman, she was neither married nor in a relationship at the time. A screen grab shows the YouTube episode has since been set to private. Tillman says she tried to contact the podcast host and their company directly to correct the record. But
that's it for that. We're going to leave that one right where it's at. Because we're not spreading no rumors here. We're just going through the cases.
But I thought if you're getting sued for defamation, it would be you would get you get reimbursed for what you had lost. She ain't never had 20 million. So how can you sue for something you ain't never was gonna make?
I mean, think about it. Oh, girl just won a lawsuit, and we're gonna go to lead attorney and speculate on how much she got. The pie in the sky $50 million didn't really happen. It wasn't $50 million. And obviously, unless she's under oath, she can't disclaim because they sign all these different documents to say whatever the settlement was, it can't be disclosed at any point in time. So everybody's speculating, but they're throwing that $50 million out. And we got lead attorney coming up soon. And he's going to go through how he speculates how much was possibly given to for a settlement for the young lady that he had to pay the money to. But so you're saying this case got thrown out based on the fact that it was just her trying to do a money grab?
Yeah, I guess she took it to federal court. The federal judge said, nope. No, ain't gonna happen. Because I think with that, you have to prove some, with our liability is very difficult to prove. And not to get off tangent, but I think that's why even Candace Owen, she's not worried about it because they're trying to sue her for defamation.
Black Man Charles, I got you adjusting your mic. Did you have anything you want to hear?
No. I don't know. It's just like we live in a time where you could get sued for anything, and it's amazing how no matter what the situation is, if you're a man versus a woman, you're put in a negative light. And for that woman to put a lawsuit, $20 million based on what? Like what determined that number? And I don't know. I think now we're living in an age where if you have any type of status, any type of wealth, you need to protect that. And I'm surprised Shannon did not have his potentials or his friends sign a non-disclosure.
That to me just goes. I mean, we've had several conversations in the past. Other people have had several conversations on their shows. And even these big time podcasters and YouTubers have had this conversation about NDLs or NDRs or A's or whatever you want to call them. But at the end of the day, I don't know why people are not more protective of their wealth when it comes to those.
Your friend, the lead attorney, did a big story on that. And he said, have him sign an NDL. She breaks it. What you gonna sue her for? She ain't got no money.
She broke.
Yeah.
What you gonna get it for?
Yeah. So she just said, I'm gonna talk because if TMZ is gonna pay me $10,000 and I'm gonna get that money, your NDL ain't doing nothing to me. That money be spent before I got it. You're gonna put a lawsuit on me, and now you don't really want to put a lawsuit on me because I'm gonna talk anyway. So it don't make it doesn't make no sense.
Right.
I mean, it does, unless you're doing an NDA with somebody who has some money and has something to lose, and you got something on it. Other than that, really don't mean nothing.
And again, I don't feel sorry for him. I think he deserves to get everything that's getting to him because he brought a lot of attention to himself. You know, as much as he likes to talk about the bag, he fucked up the bag big time. So I mean, for him to lose $100 million contract, podcast contract, pay a person $20 million or $50 million, I mean, then you get fired. I mean, all over some ass. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
So what would you have done? You know, you just went in Brazil. You know, some girls say, "Hey, can I use your phone real quick?" You know, to text something, whatever she's doing, and then she captures some of your information. Got your girl's number, got your job number, and then she say, because that's what they've been doing on that one app in the Philippines. I was telling you about, Telegram.
Yeah,
they get a guy, you know, on there, and they talk sweet to him, and as soon as they get, you know, his information, they start blackmailing him. And you know, so what do you do in that situation? I'm gonna tell your wife, I'm gonna tell your boss.
I mean, someone shout out to Brandon Hayes. He made a great valid point. Someone like your status, go speak to a madam. Go speak to a service that's gonna provide you the type of entertainment that you're looking for, because obviously he's very kinky. He has a certain things that he like to do. Bro, just get an escort.
That's what he got.
No. She was she was not an escort. He met her at Whole Foods of all places.
But what makes
he tried to convert a regular person?
Which one are we talking about? We're talking about the old girl. He met her at the gym.
Yeah, the gym. Sorry. Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Okay. All right. If I pay a girl for sex, what does that make her?
Yeah, but
I paid professional.
And not only paying, if she's demanding a certain amount for said booty cheek,
yes,
what does that make her?
And we're gonna play that video. Let me read this real quick, and we're gonna go to that video, and then we'll go ahead and continue the conversation. Shout out to Brandon Hayes for the $10 super chat. Thank you very much, brother, for the donation to the show and the support. I'm sorry, I don't feel sorry for Shannon. All he had to do was hire a madam to secure escorts with NDAs, and all of this could have been prevented. The IG Live incident, the lawsuits, he should have known better. I agree, 100%. He should have known better. This brother's our age. Matter of fact, no, this brother's more my age. Nah, bro.
What? All right, y'all got to explain to me, what should he have known better?
Look, I'm going to say this.
I need, just explain that to me. What did he do that was?
He's been like, go ahead, let's not play stupid here. Let's not play stupid here. This man has been in the limelight for a very, very, very long time. He understands how that part of the world works. Don't act brand new to this. I'm sorry. You've been doing this since your 20s when you got drafted, winning Super Bowls. This is nothing new to him. Now, I understand this is something, a guy that never came into wealth, that never experienced attractive women. I understand that because there's a learning curve. But for him, there's no excuse. I'm sorry.
You still hadn't answered the question. The question was, what should he have done better? You said he should have known better. What should he have known better not to do? Because in my opinion, he didn't get married. So he's like, I'm not getting married, so I don't get divorced. Somebody takes half my money. I'm going to pay someone for my, like you on this show many times, you say you pay for your fantasy. That's what he did. He paid someone for his fantasy. He made a transaction. He didn't get in with them. We talked before. I know Brandon said about NDAs. NDAs don't mean nothing if you don't have no money. And in today's world, it's all about the clout chasing.
I gotta stop you right there. So let's not skip over the NDA. I consider an NDA a stopgap, whether she got money or not. She knows if she goes that legal route, I already have a leg up on her because she was very full well in knowing what the relationship was going to be from the jump. So if you tweak off on me, yeah, I might not get no money, but I can prevent you from taking my money. And that's the biggest thing, even what lead attorney can say, is I can at least alert you to know that if something goes awry, I'm not willing to give you a dime. Now we can fight that NDA. Wait, we can fight that NDA out in court, and we can leave it to the lawyers. Yes, it's going to cost me a little bit of money, and yes, you're going to get a greedy lawyer like Tony Busby to represent you. But at least I have an initial thing that says you knew what it was when it first started.
That doesn't matter, Ronan. You know why it doesn't matter?
Right.
Because here's what she says. I knew what it was. And we had sex 20 times. And on the 21st time, he raped me.
But you got to prove that. But the whole thing is you got to prove that.
She didn't have to prove anything to go to court. Here's
the thing.
Hold up, Ronan. There was an NBA and MLB baseball player who the woman said, I'm about to get, I'm going to have him choke me out so I can catch this money. You remember that? That's what she said.
I understand what you said.
So, she said that prior to meeting him. She met him, took a picture with him the day after, and then still tried to accuse him of that. The black girl that was on Pop the Balloon also tried to get money from him and say that I'm pregnant with your baby. I just want your stuff in me. She said she wanted, this is Shannon's girl, I want that gravy, that gravy up in me. So
he has this whole fantasy about the slave white girl type of thing, and he always says something about talk about my meat and having a black baby and all this other crap. So that's his little play kind of like.
But what you're saying is an NDA and all that can stop that accusation. It doesn't, because she can still say
no, it doesn't stop the accusation. When it preps her to let her know that I know my value and I know what I have to do if I have to protect myself. Whether you go out and get an attorney or not, your attorney, and obviously everything in law can be argued on perception. It's never about the truth. It's always based on perception and sympathy or empathy based on the judge or whoever sitting in that little box.
But that wasn't it. He could have fought this in court. It was not a criminal case. It was civil. Hold up. It was civil. And what he did not want to come out was the things that he did. Let's go back a little bit further. P. Diddy paid this money, $20 million. So old girl just wouldn't say something. He was trying to protect his reputation, which didn't do anything.
The point. That's the point. But these guys are settling out of court and negotiating dollar amounts in order to keep the perception of who they are as people out of the limelight. He was getting ready to negotiate a $100 million deal with Spotify. It was worth him trying to settle out of court so it wouldn't get to Spotify and nullify that deal. And it still got out and it nullified his deal, that access to $100 million. So a lot of famous guys, especially black men, will try to pay for the silence, P. Diddy included.
Exactly. So what you're saying, an NDA, what would an NDA have done? Absolutely nothing. Your girl go to court and say, look, I called up guys, I got them to come over, I busted it down for a real one.
It depends on the person. You got a whole president that'll sit there and say, grab him by the pussy.
So
and ain't nothing happened to him. It all is based on perception on who that person is. And he was running for president.
But the thing, so y'all still haven't told me what should he have done? Basically, what he should have done is not have sex with anybody.
I mean, that is the prevention of all preventions.
What he should have done, grab his passport and go overseas.
I just showed you where a guy went overseas and got scoped.
I don't think that's...
See, wait. I mean, look, all right. I have some friends who make they're millionaires. I got a couple of friends who are millionaires. And they go to Colombia. They go to these countries, the same countries I go to. They go there, and the way they travel out there is completely different than how the everyday traveler will go to Colombia or go to Brazil. When they go there, they're like literally got everything situated for them. So a guy like Shannon would not have any issues going overseas. honestly, the likelihood of him getting scope will be zero. Because for one, he's not going to be at the damn park. Most of these guys in scope, they try to find these so-called relationship or just try to find some quick, cheap action at the park. The way a millionaire will move in these countries is completely different. So being scope is the least of his worries.
Now I gotta stop him.
I don't think that's
I'm speaking from experience. Like, I actually advise these men how to travel in these places, and the pictures that I see to this day, I don't see regular everyday travelers that go to these places do what they doing at all.
Usually when you go, all it is a agency that sets these people up. But the agency is just getting people. The same madams. It's the same people. So
I mean, Brandon had it right. If he had gone over and went to a brothel and done it that way, or even deal with, in America, it's not so legal. I mean, the only place you can go is maybe Vegas or someplace like that, where there's a chicken ranch or something where it's legal in one county in the United States or whatever, without getting in any trouble. Any other way is kind of seedy. You know, if you're going overseas, you got to deal with a madam. But here in the United States, I mean, overall prostitution is illegal everywhere, even though they make it seem like it's an okay thing.
I got to push back on that. I don't think you have to deal with a matter because you go overseas. I think it's just like the type of people that you surround yourself with. If you're around low tier people, you're going to get low tier results. That's what is going to happen. I know as much as you guys hate that I talk about Colombia and my Cali, Colombia, because that was my last place that I traveled. Actually, that was the last time that I freaking traveled. Shit. It all boils down to who you surround yourself with, man. Most guys that go to these countries, let's just keep it a buck. These are first-time travelers, don't know how to act and move in these countries, overzealous, cheap, and they just grab the first thing that they see. That's fact. Versus someone who's been traveling to the country, that speaks the language, that immersed himself into the culture and way of life of that particular country, he's going to move a little bit different. So that's why it's not always good to compare apples to oranges, man, because it's a whole different experience. A guy like Shannon Sharpe will be fully taken care of. I know personally NFL players who go there and have a great time walking the streets and don't get robbed or drugged. They got security with them.
I mean, there was an episode on Nightcap where they had football coach that has the two sons that went to the NFL. Deion Sanders was on the show, and they were all talking about taking a quick trip down to the DR as part of the show. So I know they know how to move down in other countries. Why all of a sudden are their guard down when they're in America?
It's not that their guard is down. So now you telling me every time I want some nookie, I got to travel 2,000 miles.
Yes. At this point, yes. You got to have something.
I mean, that's not what he's looking for. He was looking for more like the girlfriend experience. Somebody I can be
are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
Yeah, because he wanted to be able to talk his smack. He wanted to be able to say whatever he wanted to her. He wanted to have.
Let me go ahead and play this video. Let me go ahead and play this video before you go too far down that road. Hold on.
Was Shannon Sharpe's girlfriend for 2 years. She's talking about how she will remove certain articles of clothing for $1,500 a piece. You got to reach these tip goals so that she will show more of her skin to you. Now, this is on her OnlyFans account, where she is talking to hundreds, if not thousands of men trying to collect this $1,500. But she has just reached a settlement with Shannon Sharpe that is worth tens of millions of dollars. Let me ask you, look at her now. She's beautiful, correct? Would you pay her tens of millions? Does she deserve it? As a quick recap, you'll remember that Shannon met this girl, Gabby, at the gym. She was 19 years old at the time, and Shannon was like 56. She ended up filing a lawsuit in the beginning of this year against Shannon for $50 million. What was she claiming? She was alleging that when Shannon was at her gym, he was harassing her for her phone number. So this NFL Hall of Fame player is harassing harassing her for her digits, but she gave it to him. Then this girl, Gabby, says, oh, well, Shannon Sharpe was harassing me for him to go over to his house. He wanted me to go over there. And then, of course, she went. And not only did she go the first time, but she kept going back. She kept going back. Now, what did she say? She says during this time when she was going over to Shannon's house, Shannon was abusing her. This is what she put in her complaint, all of these allegations of abuse. But she would claim that all this abuse was occurring, and then she would send Shannon Sharpe texts like this. You can see Gabby here sends Shannon a text saying, hey, I want to be abused, daddy. So she's asking for the same abuse that she's alleging that Shannon Sharpe did to her. She was complaining in her lawsuit that Shannon Sharpe was a monster, that Shannon would tie her up. But then what would this same girl tell Shannon in text messages? She wants to sue Shannon for $50 million for tying her up. And then she sends Shannon a text saying, I want you to tie me up like this and abuse me, daddy. This girl Gabby was complaining that Shannon would record her having intimate relations with him. But then in her own lawsuit, she admits to having sex with Shannon on FaceTime in front of Shannon's childhood friends like Bucket. Imagine the audacity of her suing Shannon for $50 million for recording them having sex together when both of them know that he's on FaceTime with his friends Bucket saying, hey, look at her, Bucket. I got a good one, don't I? This girl is absolutely ridiculous. But guess what? This girl is laughing at Shannon all the way to the bank. She didn't need to study, didn't need to go to college, didn't need to sacrifice, and now she has generational wealth, more money than probably you and I will ever see in our lifetimes. So let me ask you, was this the whole plan from the beginning? Was it extortion? Well, she certainly got paid. Just look at what she wrote. Here is what Gabby wrote regarding the settlement. She says, today I have decided to retire from OnlyFans. Thank you for the incredible support you've shown me over the past few years. This community has given me a life I could have never imagined. Yeah, Shannon Sharpe gave you a life you would never imagined. But let's keep going. I'll still be active on social media and have several new projects in the works that I can't wait to share. I'm truly excited for this next chapter. I love you all forever and ever. Oh man, this is so sad. Shannon Sharpe is out here retiring OnlyFans models. And here is Gabby's attorney, Big Tony Busby, confirming the settlement of the lawsuit. What does Tony say? He says on April 20th of 2025, the Busby law firm filed a complaint in Nevada, making several allegations against the one and only Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe on behalf of our client Gabby. Both sides acknowledge a long-term consensual and tumultuous relationship. After protracted and respectful negotiations, I am pleased to announce that we have reached a mutually agreed upon resolution. All matters have now been addressed satisfactorily and the matter is closed. The lawsuit will thus be dismissed with prejudice. And dismissed with prejudice just means that Gabby is not allowed to refile this ever again. She can make no further claim. By Shannon Sharpe paying her all of this money, her lips are permanently sealed. Now, the question is, how much money did Shannon Sharpe pay Gabby Zuniga?
We're going to address that later, but that's the first part of it. Now what you got to say? Go ahead and finish your statement.
That she still got him. He wanted that type of experience. So he dealt with the same person. He was like, hey, that's my girl. Hold up. If it was
let's not deceive ourselves. That was not a boyfriend-girlfriend conversation when she was already taking in money for the cheeks.
I said he want the girlfriend experience. You don't know what the GFE is?
No. I got that part. I thought you said that she thought she was a legitimate girlfriend.
He was paying for the girlfriend experience, meaning he just didn't want something transactional. He wanted to feel like,
this experience. He wanted that slave master. He wanted that slave master daughter type of situation going on.
It just seemed crazy that I don't know why he didn't fight it. I just sometimes, the one thing I can say about this, when I used to watch these videos of Malcolm X, they used to bring him onto the show. And the first thing Malcolm X would say is, I used to rob people. I used to pimp ladies. I used to do all of this. Because their setup to Malcolm X was, aren't you a robber? Didn't you go to jail? When you already say all of that, there's nothing that they can hold against you. You already put it out there. So now the conversation is gone. So what he should have done is just said, this is me. I like it freaky deaky. And but he probably has some kind of clause. He probably didn't want it to get out there what he was doing. And so he thought he could be hush hush. The worst thing he did was make a settlement with this lady without securing the bag with ESPN. Because I think he in his mind thought, once I settle this,
but it wasn't even ESPN. It was ESPN and a secondary contract with Spotify for his whole podcast situation with Shay Shay and Nightcap. That's $200 million. So that's why I'm saying a lot of these guys will jump in early and say, yo, I will pay you off. It's worth $20 million to get access to $200 million. I just need you to shut the hell up. Like 10%. I'll give you 10% of my earnings if you could just shut up so I can make this $200 million and we can both keep it moving. But see, here's what the lawyers do. They persuade these chicks to say, I can get you more than that. Come on over and sign this agreement. I'll work for you. I'll get that number up so we can both make it. That's what happens. But a lot of these chicks, they go in at an angle like the lead attorney said. Did she go into this situation like she knew she was going to cash out? And a lot of these players, these ball players, these rappers, and so on, they set themselves up for these type of chicks that already know they're going to have access through either having a child or through their millions. Eventually, they're going to have a cash out way of retirement because they don't protect themselves at all.
Again, I don't feel sorry for them. Fuck them.
But nobody keeps saying what he should have done. Y'all keep saying he go overseas, and what you wrong about this. Hold up, Black Man Travels. You keep saying that the wealthy dudes don't get it. Here's the difference between the wealthy dudes. If I lose $5,000 to a chick, oh, I'm fine. I'm going back. I'm looking. I'm doing all of that. I want the world to know this chick. I'm putting her out, blast out there. She done took me $5,000. She did all this. You know what a dude who got a lot of money do? Nothing. So you never hear about the rich dude who got taken, because to him, he just gonna chalk it off as that's part of the game. So they get taken, they just don't put it out there because the embarrassment is more than the money. To them, $5,000 ain't even worth the embarrassment of saying that happened to me.
That's why I said the $20 million to him wasn't. It was worth it to keep her quiet. Everybody's making a big deal. Listen. Everybody like us is making a big deal about $20 million. To him, $20 million is nothing.
Oh no, it was. That was more than what he made in his football career.
No. Listen, he's making way more. Listen, he's making way more than he did in his football career on these contracts, these sponsorships, and everything else. That's all know. So it's a lot of money. It's a lot of money based on the fact that his hard work and it took him X amount of years to even make it to the NFL, and then his overall NFL career only netted him $20 million. If you're saying that, that's fine. But now he has access to so much more than that. So it's worth him to even pay the $20 million to keep her quiet. But let me play this so you can hear from his own voice.
Brother, here's what you don't understand. If he makes $50 million, how much is he paying in taxes?
Depends on what his write-offs are.
He paying half that money in taxes.
No, wealthy people do not pay half their amounts anymore. They don't do that. There's too many tax loopholes. I don't pay half my amount.
Uncle Sam take a whole lot of that money.
No,
Uncle Sam gonna take a whole lot of that money.
Depending on what he has. Look, his business investments, his travel, different things that he uses to write things off. The whole the whole way he has his studio set up. There are write-offs. He pays employees. He has a legitimate business where he has tax shelters. He is not giving half of his money to no motherfucking income tax. I'm telling you that. No way.
Let's say he's got to have
better advisors.
Let's say he give 10%, 15%.
It's a lot of money to us. To him, it's not. I'm trying to
Brother,
tell you,
$25 million is a lot to anybody.
Not when you have access to 200 million.
He ain't got no, and his net worth ain't even 200 million, man.
Between the Spotify contract, which was a guaranteed 100 million, as he signed it, and then whatever he was getting from ESPN and all these other sponsors, he was pushing almost 200 million in contract deals.
He didn't have 200 million.
But I'm trying to, okay,
look,
hold on.
I'm looking at his net worth right now. Shannon Sharpe, Hall of Famer, has an estimated net worth of $30 million. How you gonna give somebody 25 million and you only worth 30 million?
Right. That's not it. That's his existing income. That's
then
not what his
count things that I don't have.
But he would have had those things. That's what I'm saying. He would have had those things. So in order to gain access to that money, he was willing to pay off a percentage of his net worth to get access to the other contracts.
He counted his chickens before he was hatched.
You got to sometimes.
Oh, hell no,
projected
you don't.
money is good money if you know that you're going to
from the country. You never count your chicks before.
Hold on, man. I work in commission. Sometimes you have to put out future projections on earnings. That's what it's called. You're projecting out what you're gonna earn in commissions and net worth for your net worth. Now, yes, deals can fall through, but you got to recoup that through other deals. You got to keep hustling. That's the whole thing. When you're 1099 and you're not guaranteed salary, you got to always have future projections on earnings.
No, what you do is you don't go out and buy a car on a potential deal you about to sign. Or go buy.
Right, they do it all the time. Go in the real estate market. And most real estate agents will tell you to go buy the most expensive thing. Why? Because it motivates you to do more.
Motivate. That's the fool. That's the idiot. That is the idiot all the time.
It is the idiot, but sometimes you got to do that in order to push yourself.
You know, that's the poor way people think, man. I'm gonna go buy something that I can't afford to hope that it motivates me to afford.
Listen to the way he's talking. He's very relaxed about what the situation's about. You got to understand his mentality. So let's play this video and then we can speculate a little bit.
Rehearsed.
I'm at peace with that, but I just wish, guys, this thing could have waited until Monday, because I hate the fact that I'm overshadowing my brother, the first two brothers in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, and this is what the headline's going to be for the next couple of days. So, bro, again,
So you can hear his mindset that it's not a big deal to him for the 20 million, because he knew what his future projections were. He knew what he was sitting there negotiating between all those different deals. He knew the 20 million was well worth his investment because he knew his future projections. Had he had the opportunity a couple days just to sign that goddamn contract, he would have had some guarantees and a larger amount of income coming in.
But once this came out, none of that was going to be to your wish.
He knew that. That's why he was trying to guarantee her to shut the hell up.
But it was already out there, man.
No. Before Tony Busby got a hold of it, he already said, "I'll give you 20 million to shut up." Tony Busby said, "I can get you more." That's when the shit started. That's when it started coming out. But it was he already had on the low put in a bid to tell her, "Look, I'll set you up $20 million. Just keep this on a loan. Let me get through these contracts, and we can still be cool."
That's an idiot.
Not an idiot. That's a wealthy man trying to protect future earnings.
If you're wealthy, then none of that stuff hurts you. If you're wealthy, you say, "This is what I feel, and I don't care what you feel about me." He ain't wealthy. He just he's still dependent upon somebody else.
Still working you absolutely still working for somebody as you get up there, unless you own your own corporation. And we talk about that all the time. The greatest wealth is to own your own businesses and be your own person and not have to work for somebody else, because then you got to keep your reputation spotless, especially as a black man. We always talk about this. As we grew up, we had to be 10 times, 100 times better than the next man in that same company in order to keep our positions. It's the same thing in every business out there. We know for a fact on this next story that's coming up, and we'll talk about that later. But on this situation,
we're going to take this time to do a advertisement break. How about that?
Go Go ahead, play
You know,
your
we
best.
always like to promote our channel, so you know, we got other channels out there. So you go ahead first, brother. Go ahead. I know you got.
No. Go ahead, run your short real quick.
Dude, I got to try to find it now. I done said it fast.
Steve, you ain't got nothing ready.
I just got to look real quick. Let's see. Is that downloads? I'm gonna put in documents. All right. Let's do this one. So as you know, I'm gonna put my other channel in the chat here, and shout out to my man. I'll call him out on here. Thanks for leaving a comment and subscribing to the channel. You know, we just like to cross promote. So here you go. Let's see if I can get this one going. Maybe. By candlelight. Not because I was deep, not because I was romantic, but because we ain't had no electricity. I wasn't spiritual. Oh, let me get it back. Sorry about that, fellas. By candlelight. Not because I was deep, not because I was romantic, but because we ain't had no electricity. I wasn't spiritual, not aesthetic, just broke. Oh, that kind of broke, that kind of hungry, that kind of fear. But that's what made me rich. See, pain raised me. Poverty trained me, and pressure, that's what paid me. I was the kid with food stamps in my pocket praying nobody from school saw me pull it out. I knew the shame of opening up the refrigerator and seeing nothing but a jar of mustard and a prayer. I knew what it felt like to pick up the phone and not hear nothing, not even the dial tone, because we ain't pay that bill. We had evictions, and we had candles instead of lights, and I had hopes instead of heat. I was so thankful for the free lunch at school, not because I liked the food, but because if I didn't eat there, I might not eat at all. So if y'all want to see how I became from fearful to fearless, that's what I show y'all, man, how to make that money. How it started off as you know, being poor, but sometimes you got to make it. Hope and a dream. I don't think I was as poor as Shannon Sharpe. He was still using the outhouse when he was 18. We wasn't there though.
Dang. He said an outhouse at 18. Shit, that's my mom's type of shit right there. Outhouse. Especially during the wintertime. Can you imagine having to make that walk from your house to outhouse in the middle of winter?
Look, ain't nobody reading no newspaper while they sitting down pooping there.
You want to definitely live down south versus up north. You want to be down south for wintertime if you got an outhouse. You do not want to be up in Ohio cold ass weather, New York weather, Pennsylvania weather, none of that shit.
Brother, you want to be in an outhouse when it's 101 degrees outside?
I'd rather be in a house than freeze to my ass off.
Man, you know how stench that poop is at 101? It's cooking. Your poop is cooking. Shoot.
I shout out to Brandon Hayes for the $5 super chat. Sorry for the delay. We're trying to keep everything organized on conversation. So he should have known that famous black men will always get scrutiny in the public eye. All this controversy around his inability to control his owning. Dick discipline. Goddamn, somebody said it.
He had dick discipline. That's why he was paying somebody. Dick discipline is when you out here just screwing everybody countlessly and you just in the streets. He said, I'm going to pick me a select few. Have me my little harem with 3 or 4 people that I rotate in and out. I'm going to take care of them. That's it. You know, that was his dick discipline. So I don't know. He wasn't out here in the streets screwing everybody. He had his select few of which he paid off that he took care of. It was them that got greedy. So y'all still ain't proved me wrong. Y'all keep saying he should have done something different.
That should
Go ahead,
man. No, I'm saying that should be a great topic. Dick discipline. He doesn't have that.
But your boy is saying
I need some evidence behind he doesn't have it. What does that mean?
He doesn't have it.
Explain it. You gotta explain it. You're saying a fact.
Here's the thing. Look, I'm gonna back it up a little bit. Maybe Black Man will spark a idea after I get into it. First of all, we talk every day about when we travel that brothers need to learn how to vet here in America and especially overseas, because now we have a huge magnifying being foreigners, especially Americans with that blue book, is already thinking that we got cash machines in our house and we're just turning out dollars. Does this not stop here in America? You still need to vet. You got a 19-year-old girl, you walking around with your wallet saying, hey, I'll pay you to get between those cheeks. You're already leading with your wallet. You're already red flag number one. You ripped out your wallet not to see if she liked you in general. You paid for her to like you. That's already going down the wrong road. That's not dick discipline. He didn't vet her at all. He vetted her to see if she'll take money, but he didn't vet her to see if she's a good quality woman, if she knows how to be loyal or faithful or any of those things where she's one of those ride or die download chicks where she's
not
looking
for that, I mean, let's just keep it a buck here. He's not looking for that. He made that clear plenty of times on his show. He's not looking for that loyalty type of crap. He's looking for a great time. That's what he's looking for. Young, tight, and good. That's what he's looking for.
Right, but that's not dick discipline like we're talking about. I mean, look, he just said it. He still fucked her without an NDA, which means no dick discipline. He couldn't even wait to get her to sign a fucking NDA.
NDA don't mean nothing when the girl ain't got no money.
Matter,
it don't
bro.
mean nothing. What are you gonna get?
It's still a
NDA. What does that mean if the NDA saying if you disclose this, then I can sue you? You gonna sue her for what?
That's all facts. She got between his cheeks more than he got between hers. You right about that, Pooh, man. He definitely got the ass into that one. He definitely did, for sure. Because like I said, she already bragging online. She gets to retire off of OnlyFans. Thank you. I love y'all so much. I get to retire off of OnlyFans off of one sucker.
Y'all still ain't explained to me. If you
pay for
a transaction, how's that a
sucker that paid, that got played? That's it.
Yeah, so he can.
And that's the big matter. He made a fool out of himself.
He can, T-Mac. And you're right. You're right, Black Man Travels. He's made a fool out of himself, but now it's public opinion and whether he can fix the perception of his public opinion. Plenty of people have done it before. Obviously, white more so than black. You know, Robert Downey Jr. He used to have a whole thing with being a drug guy. He's fixed his whole public perception and became Iron Man after all that. You know, so yeah, he can still get and fix maybe being able to get those future earnings, but now it's maybe instead of him having access to 100K, they get the fucking discount. Now they might sign him for 5 to 10K because they know he's desperate. So now they get the discount where they could have maximized his dollars. I mean, look at Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's keeping it clean as fuck. That dude's over there making.
They still had Joe Rogan calling people the N-word.
But it's still something he could fix more so than we still have that struggle, bro. We're still black at the end of the day. I don't care how light I am versus how dark Black Man Travels is over there. We all black. The minute we have the perception of doing something,
hold up. I'm black and sexy, bro.
It don't matter, bro. When it comes to a white man in the contract, a white man in the contract that's been circumvented and closed out.
Dark skinned dudes are in.
But see, here's what y'all keep saying. Y'all keep saying it like she's saying he had intercourse with her. That's not what she was suing him for, man. She was suing him for SA.
Right, but he wasn't scared of that charge. He knew it would be dropped. What he was scared of is because of the court of public opinion, it was going to interfere with the access to almost $200 million worth of contracts.
So let me tell you how NDA would have worked. Now, let me tell you how this NDA would have worked. What's the girl's name with P. Diddy? I can't remember that chick's name. Cassie. Cassie signs an NDA. I ain't saying nothing. Then she gets called to the stand. None. The NDA don't mean.
Well, that was the federal court. She had to, that's why I said
the NDA don't mean nothing. So if
it
this
does
says,
until the court tells you have to break it.
You SA'd me, and then she go into court. No matter what, that NDA don't mean nothing now. So y'all keep saying it like it means something. They say it's worth the piece of paper you wrote it on.
Okay. It did mean something. The court made her break the NDA in order to testify in federal court. She could not disclose how much she got initially until it went from her civil court case and to the federal courts where they said you need to disclose how much he paid you off. That's when that NDA is null and void in court.
So the girl had already said you SA'd me. That's all she was going to do. Then that NDA you keep saying sign, it means nothing.
It does.
It doesn't.
Initially.
You know why it doesn't mean nothing?
Because the court's still going to sympathize.
Kobe Bryant got accused of that, right?
Right.
He got accused. And what the girl say? Oh, I dropped that. You give me some money.
Yes.
So she was still gonna get the money no matter what.
Yes, and that's the whole thing about Tony Busby in the initial, like I said earlier, Shannon Sharpe offered her $20 million just to keep it off the books. Tony Busby gets in her ear and said, I can get you 50.
But y'all keep
now,
saying
let's go to the legal ramifications of this. Let's go back to your boy, lead attorney, to finish off the question. Is she worth it? How much do you think she really got out of that $50 million?
Girl Gabby receive. If we look again at Tony's announcement of the settlement, of course, there are no numbers that are shown. Almost always in these settlements, the terms of the agreement are confidential. You remember when Puffy settled with Cassie. No one knew how much Cassie received until Cassie had to testify on the stand and disclose that she actually got $30 million. So the question is, how much did Gabby receive? Well, I will tell you that in my personal educated opinion, I believe that Gabby got $33 million. Now you say, well, Lead, how did you come up with that number? Well, let me tell you, we have to remember that Gabby hired an attorney. She hired Big Tony. I promise you that Tony does not work for free. We lawyers, we attorneys, we charge on cases like this on a contingency basis. That means that we only make money if you win the case, but we are going to take a percentage. Now, how much is the percentage? Usually it's 30% if we can get the case resolved, if we can get it settled before we have to file a lawsuit. But if we have to file a lawsuit, then our percentage bumps up to 40. Now, there are no hard and fast rules. This is just in general what attorneys charge. So we know that Tony filed the lawsuit, so let's say that he's going to get 40%. If Gabby's total compensation is $33 million, then Tony's 40% is $13.3 million. How much does that leave Gabby? It leaves her with $20 million. That's right. The girl that you see on the screen has gotten a wire transfer for $20 million, in my opinion. You know, ask yourself, is she worth it? You know, I will stop for a second to point out that it's commonplace nowadays on social media to have this kind of gender war, this men against women. A lot of men are asking women, well, hey, you know, what are you actually bringing to the table? A lot of men think women's standards are too high. These women say, I am the table. Don't take me out to the Cheesecake Factory. Take me to fine dining. Take me on trips first class. Buy me these $50,000 Birkin bags. The men are saying, well, why would I do that? You're not worth it. And the women say, yes, I am. And they point to this. These women say, you're crazy if you think that I'm not on par with Gabby. I'm a 10. If Gabby got $20 million, why can't I? These women look around and see these cases where men are paying so much money to, let's be honest, kind of average looking women. They say, well, why would I expect less if people like Gabby can get tens of millions of dollars? You can't take me to fine dining? If she's worth 20 million, I at least have to be worth 15 million, right? And if we're honest, it is a
And let me address
that's a whole other conversation right there.
Yeah,
you know, now let's just geek up all the other girls, all these other chicks.
I'm not wrong, because what I'm saying is the bottom line was going to be money. Meaning when it came to Kobe, the girl filed a police report, but at the end, what she said is, oh, you going to pay me money? That police report, we're dropping all that. Don't mean nothing. The other people, Cassie and them, just said, you know what? In lieu of me exposing you, I'll take the money. So the crime doesn't mean anything. The crime
exactly. It does not mean
the crime means nothing.
But here's the point of that. Here's the point of that. The girls have learned from this old Kobe situation. Yo, running to the police is not your first best option. My first best option is to do a civil case, because people's personalities and their personas are more important than me legally taking you to court and getting you charged.
I don't want you to be in jail. If you in jail, you can't pay me.
You can't pay me. So the girls learn from the Kobe situation. They don't go to the police departments and get anything. They make innuendos and suggestions that these things happen, just like your girl, Kathy Zunica, or whatever her name is, for Shannon. She made an innuendo of you grape me and you gonna pay me. And here's the thing that you didn't catch. I said initially Shannon was already willing to pay her $20 million. Tony Busby says, hey, I can get you more. We can shoot for 50. So the educated guess that the lead attorney just said on 33 million still gives her how much? The original 20 million, but Tony Busby just cut himself in for 13 for the shot of getting to a 50. What he explains to her is like, look, I shot for the 50. We weren't going to pull it off. There's no way you could have proved that you were great by him. So let's go ahead and settle off this thing for something where we both can be happy. He initially offered you 20 million. I can at least walk away with 13 million. We're both happy. Boom. Let's go. He still scammed his way into a deal where it could have been settled out of court and no big whistle being blown. And she's happy with destroying his potential earnings for the same amount of money he initially offered her. Make that make sense.
And I keep saying it. The reason she can destroy him is because what he gonna say about her? Oh, you an OnlyFans model? She said, yeah, everybody done seen my poo nanny. And I mean, there's no reputation there. So I still need to know, what is it that someone like Shannon could have done?
Yeah.
What y'all saying is basically not have sex. Let's go through the options. So see, because y'all got to tell me something. Go to Colombia. So that means I got to travel every time I want to get
something. T-Mac, shout out.
Either I can't I can't get married, because I'm gonna get married. They really gonna take half. I can't even have a living girlfriend, because then we have with like the dude there said, oh man, we what is it called? Common law marriage. Can't have no children with you, because that's child support right there. So what is the option for me to do? I'm having sex with someone, I'm paying them. How does that? What do y'all want me to do? Because y'all just keep saying I made a bad decision.
No, look, you know that's a loaded damn question. The laws stop. You know the laws are written for women's advantages, not for men. We don't have any advantage, even if you say, look, short of you being abstinent and never being in a woman's president, and she's a president and having a chastity belt on, there's always an accusation that can be thrown at any given time to a man that of means. And he has to either try to pay his way out of it through a lawyer or giving her some side cash or something, because the suggestiveness of it is what you're trying to prevent. Now, we used to try to save face more so back in the day with Kobe, OJ, and all that. It was all about media perception. Media perception now is all about value. It has nothing to do with the reality or the truth. It's all perception. The media perception is how you either get sponsorships or you do not. It's how they either deal with you or they do not. So media perception, and Shannon knows this, is everything nowadays. He was trying to prevent the media perception of him being this big black guy that took advantage of this little white young girl at his age. He was trying to get ahead of that shit. We know all about trying to get ahead of shit. Okay. And it backfired. Tony Busby gets involved, says, hey, we can blow this up if you put it out public, and I can shoot for 50 million, or you can take the 20 million. So he's still a roundabout way, still comes up with the speculative 20 million if you listen to what Lee said. Man, at the end of the day, and Tony Busby winds up becoming the good guy and bagging 13 additional $1 million, where he would have never had access had she taken the initial 20.
Look, man, I know my audience may not be the most educated people, so I'm trying to educate y'all. Y'all keep saying stuff that makes no sense. I'm gonna tell you why. Look, I'm gonna tell you why you make no sense.
Okay.
This is kind of what y'all said. This is BMT too. There are no brothels. I'm sure there's one for the rich. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense until I give you a name. Heidi Fleece. Do you know who Heidi Fleece was?
Yes, but that was illegal in America.
Do you listen to me? Who is she first? Who is she?
Heidi Fleece was supposedly the New York madam. She had a book full of fucking famous politicians, wealthy individuals and everything else. She wound up getting busted because, listen, because she was running an illegal prostitution ring as a madam. Because I said earlier that prostitution is nowhere close to being legal in the United States, where it's acceptable, in anywhere but bunny ranches in Nevada.
So
they
listen to what you just said.
To break the law.
I'm telling the people here, they just said there's no brothels for the rich. That was a brothel in a sense for the rich, high-end escort.
It was not. It was an illegal brothel. You're leaving out a key word, illegal. I said go to a legal.
There's only not even a place. There's only one county in the United States that's legal.
In Las Vegas. Well, outside of Las Vegas County. Yes.
Yeah. So I still got to go to one small place for sex.
Sorry, unless you go overseas and you arrange situations. Look at the Arabs. Let's just go to Dubai and the whole poop-a-thon things that go on over there. How they getting away with it?
Hold up.
So you got wealthy people that wait. You breaking my flow. So you got wealthy people that can afford to fly to Dubai and do those things and be safe about what happens over there, or you can continue to break the law here, or you can go to
let me ask you this, Ronan.
As a wealthy individual, you can get on a plane and fly anywhere else. Don't just tell me that Americans have to stay that are wealthy in America to do their dirt.
Ronan, how do you know that girls get pooped on overseas?
They've told on themselves. What you mean?
God damn, I just told you that. This is what I'm saying.
They don't care.
Hold up, Ronan. Listen, you just said they was going to be discreet. The reason we know that girls get pooped on over there,
they didn't say who pooped on. The whole thing is the girls are not saying who pooped on. Hold on. They're not saying who. They're not saying which. They still are not giving up names though over there.
They don't know those
names. Giving up names here.
They don't know the names. They like names. Hold up. They don't know the names, but I'm telling you, if it was Michael Jordan over there pooping on them,
and that's being a smart billionaire by not giving your real name. You got Shannon Sharpe over here. Everybody knows he's a fucking target and he's easy to hit,
brother, because they are not famous in a sense. They rich. There's a difference between being rich and being famous. Rich and famous.
So famous people are stupid, and the rich people are smarter because they know how to move.
If Michael Jordan went over there and he was in Dubai and he started pooping on girl gonna come back like matter of fact, it was the girl that said, I didn't hold up. How many girls said I didn't know Tiger Woods was married? Married? LeBron, he waited on me for 3 hours in the airport. Married? I didn't even know he was married. Huh? What you saying is it don't matter. They still
wait. You saying these skeezers don't do their research and they don't know who the fuck they dealing with?
No, they do. I'm saying, but that doesn't mean you keep saying like they're gonna be quiet. Let's go to a brothel. Don't mean nothing because they still gonna talk. Let's go overseas. Don't mean nothing. They still gonna talk. That's what I keep saying. Y'all keep telling me.
Brothels do. You need to give me wait. I'm gonna call you to the table. You need to give me an instance where there was a brothel where a woman spoke about a specific named person she dealt with while she was in the brothel. And you can't use Heidi Fleiss.
Give me what you
because that was an illegal brothel.
Illegal brothel that what?
A legal brothel where a woman that was in that brothel, employed by the brothel, actually spilled a name publicly. Give me one name.
They do it after. They don't do it, but you're not going to give up your thing. Hold up. You're not going to get
all speculative. Hold up. Then it's all speculative at that point. She can't prove it. Nobody going to bite on that. How's she going to prove it?
They don't have to prove it. What do you mean they have to prove it? You don't have to prove it. The allegation is all it takes.
No, they can shame a woman so bad. She's got to be able to prove
shame a woman. These women are getting shitted on.
No shame.
You're telling a girl who just got
we're gonna have to put a stick in this. We're going too far with this. We're gonna have to put a stick in this and get to the next person.
But I'm saying, what shame are you gonna give her, man? Hold up.
Black man, you got any closing arguments on this?
You got Cassie saying that I've been going 3 days. I suck so much that I got things on my lips that I had to take this back. Shame, it means nothing. What are you shaming them? She don't care. Her husband went home and kissed her right after trial.
You arguing a moot point, bro.
What y'all have not told me is What should he have done? I keep saying every avenue that I say was they're trying to take a safe avenue. Brothel, don't get married, don't have children, pay somebody for discretion. You still, all you kept saying is what he did was dumb, but y'all haven't told me what he should have done.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what happened.
I don't know who that was. Was that me? Was that you?
I froze.
I froze too. I don't know what that was. Black Man Child, was you there?
I'm here.
All right. Do you have anything last on this argument? Because we can go round and around on Shannon Sharpe's stupidity.
No, I don't feel sorry for the guy. But
he said, "Nah, I'm good." All right, so we're gonna move to our next topic since nobody else has anything without beating a dead horse on this idiot Shannon Sharpe. No, I'm not gonna say he's an idiot. I'm just gonna say he needs to move a little bit better than he's doing for having so much goddamn money. You know, I'm not gonna hate on the brother.
As well, you know what? As much he wants to claim to be, you know, Christian and all that good stuff, he needs to humble himself. It's too arrogant.
All right, so we're going to touch on this next topic, and this is Gilbert Arenas. Go ahead and bring him up. We're going to bring up his story here in a second. So I don't know if everybody knows who Gilbert Arenas is as far as a basketball player. He's also a YouTuber, has a great YouTube channel, podcaster, made well over 100 million while he was in the NBA. And now he does something that wasn't as bright to be somebody that has so much wealth, involves himself in illegal gambling. But we're going to talk about that here in a second.
Are you bringing something up?
More on this story. Tim.
And marked up the driveway here behind me is that Encino mansion where these high-stakes poker games allegedly took place. You can't actually see the house from the road, and maybe that's the point. These weren't your average poker games either, not just because of the amount of money that was being gambled, but because the U.S. Attorney's Office says those who orchestrated, supervised, and directed these poker nights profited at every turn. A smiling Gilbert Arenas skips down the steps of the federal courthouse downtown, very visibly unbothered by his arrest.
Can't hold me, baby. They can't hold me.
The NBA star facing 3 federal charges, including operating an illegal gambling business for what allegedly went down in this Encino mansion between September of 2021 and July of 2022. The Department of Justice claims Arenas, years after his NBA career was over, rented out the home and directed others to stage the place to host high-stakes poker games. In the indictment, the DOJ included this photo that Arenas allegedly texted to one of the other 7 people charged. It's a poker table that says Arenas Poker Club. Arenas' attorney not saying much after the multimillionaire former pro athlete pleaded not guilty in court.
We'll just sort of see how things go, but he is getting out on bail.
And what's the spirit like?
I'm sorry?
The spirit, his mood.
He seemed fine when I saw him.
He seems more than fine after posting the $50,000 bond. This video posted to social media included the caption, "This ain't got bleep to do with me. Just rented the house, wasn't part of the festivities." The festivities, according to the DOJ, included paid poker dealers, chefs, valets, armed security, even women who served drinks, offered massages, and, quote, companionship. Retired FBI agent Bobby Chacon says this went way beyond your average poker night with friends.
When I've been involved in friends' poker games, we each throw in a few bucks for chips and beer or whatever. But in this case, the house was taking a cut of every pot, either usually a percentage of the pot or, you know.
I got to stop that right there. You're an FBI agent. You have nowhere close to the exposure of multimillionaires or billionaires when it comes to how much they spend and how much they want to splash the pot. So him and your extra opinion on the case should make no difference. They shouldn't even have added that to the perception of the news piece. But go ahead.
I'm not going to be the dead horse, but my brother Drew is right. You wanted to find a legal brothel in which they talk. The Love Ranch in Nevada, owned by
Hold up, we have moved conversations,
Dennis
bro.
Hoff. I'm just letting you know, owned by Dennis Hoff. He talked about Lamar Odom passing out in his drug use. So you just said who don't
Dude,
talk.
you're not supposed to be helping him find cases, man. That's
Just
a one in a lifetime. But there was a situation. I remember the Lamar Odom case. There was something going on with Lamar Odom, which gave him permission to actually do that interview. But he gone to a legal brothel, which that was a legal brothel, and that's why he could probably talk about it more so than anybody else. But there should have been some kind of agreement where even the owner of the chicken ranch shouldn't have been able to talk. That's the reason why you go to those places. But that was the only one and only. I know there's like 3 chicken ranches out in that one county outside of Las Vegas. I forgot the name of the county. I lived there for 2 years.
Carson City.
Carson City. Okay. But at the end of the day, he still should have never been able to talk either. That's why they pay the exclusivity of being in those places. Now, he did it legally. So the one thing you got to say about Lamar, he did it by law. He did it the right way. You get what I'm saying? And he can't go to jail for going to a legal brothel. For what? That was legal.
No, I understand. So let's talk about my man here. Here goes just how the law is. Because they do this when I've worked at places, and they always stress this. Say they do a March Madness poll. Hey, whoever wins this March Madness, you get, everybody puts in $10, and then whoever wins, they get the pot. The only way that can be legal is that person gets all of the money. The house gets no money. I mean, that's just me and you having a wager. Other than that, when the house starts making money and there's money to set aside, that's when it starts to become illegal. So unless you do, that's why the other people do it for what they call charity. Like you can have those charity events when they say, hey, I know, I'm just saying what they say. When they say, hey, we're having a charity event and we're going to have gambling, but all the proceeds go to, so if the house takes money, those proceeds that the house are taking are going to some charity. After expenses. I'm assuming after expenses. That's the only way that they can do it. Now, somebody in here had to just snitch, because from what I understand, he had the house, and what they would do is they would bring chicks over, and not for say like
you got poor losers everywhere, bro. Everybody's jealous of the big winner in the room and everything else. You got a lot of egos when you got millions of dollars sitting on the table or hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's a lot of those guys have egos, man. And somebody got their butt hurt or maybe lost a little bit too much money to one other player, and now all of a sudden, low key, they want to go tell. But billionaires and millionaires have had quiet, closeted gambling little games. And even FBI agent alluded to, oh, we played poker before. You mean to tell me you never played poker with money on the table, FBI agent? He just admitted to it on open camera that he's breaking the law too. But it was to the extent of how wealthy Gilbert Arenas is and how much he went out. There's plenty of people that like poker and will spend money on a custom poker table. What does that mean? Doesn't mean shit. That's not evidence. And even if you're taking a little bit of money for a house, he just said there's food being served, alcohol being served. That means servers, food, all of those ancillary things have to be paid for. Why shouldn't a house rake in a little bit of money to pay for those extras to have them there for the guests that show up? What's wrong with that?
This is what the law says. The legality of gambling hinges
It's
on
illegal anyway. No matter how you look at it, it's all illegal. Unless you in Vegas, it's illegal.
No, as long as you don't take a
Atlanta or Vegas, and you have a gambler's license, it's illegal.
No, the legality, I'm reading it. The legality of gambling hinges on whether a rake or house takes a cut, which is prohibited in California. And Arenas is accused of renting his house out with connection to them, as well as taking an alleged rake from the poker games, thus making it illegal. So
that
I'm
makes
not
it gambling. Listen. I understand about gambling. You have to have a gambling's license. So the minute you take a rake, it becomes you needed a gambling license in order to operate that business. Okay, that's the whole point behind why they call it the rake, because now you're operating a legal business, which is called gambling, which you need to have what? A license for. So the whole point of this is he's raking in money. He doesn't have the license to report the earnings from whatever the table rake is.
And I don't really think it was probably, it was probably just enough to cover, whatever expenses are. Hey, I'm paying some chicks to come over here and serve.
But it's funny how they only undercover black businesses and not YT people and the millionaires or billionaires that gamble all the time. And no big deal. How many guys are gambling on the golf course every day? Per hole, per ball, $500, $1,000 a hole, whatever. Michael Jordan was famous for losing a lot of money on a golf course multiple times, and nobody ever tried to take Michael Jordan to court for gambling on a golf course, because most likely the guys he was gambling against are white.
No, the reason is now if he was on the gambling, if he's on the golf course and he make a bet, and the golf course says we get 10% of that bet or 5% because you made the bet on a golf course, that is what makes it illegal. If me and you make a bet and it's just a fair exchange, it's legal. That's the difference. And I'm not saying, look, I'm not even saying this.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. It's all about the state one in their cut.
Correct.
We said that.
Yeah. So the thing is, I think if you're doing a friendly thing, and it probably just got too big. When I say too big, if you do a one-off event, I don't think nobody looking at you, but it was probably a regular event, regular entertainment. You got a lot of people coming. And then it's like, well, now they doing it on a regular basis. Not saying that's, especially if you're not really bringing outside people in and it's just 5 or 10 of your friends. So what? It's y'all money. It's y'all what y'all doing. It's how y'all do it. Because I could say, hey, but
Gilbert's a famous guy. He has a lot of friends.
No, that's fine. I'm not saying what he did was wrong. Anytime you big, and we just talked about Shannon Sharpe. Anytime you big and you attract exposure, people start to look at you.
And again, and like I said, it always seems to be melanated people that are being looked at a lot tighter than all those YT people that are doing it on a regular, and you don't hear shit. Just like black travel. The white guys are out there doing it too. They're doing the same thing, if not worse, and been doing it way longer. But it just seems like when you become melanated, like I said, you have a magnifying glass on everything you do. Everything. This is what people don't comprehend when they're out there. Oh, we're just like them. No, you're not. You're never going to be just like them. Never. No matter where you go in the world, you're never going to be like them.
Hey, so what y'all think? He gonna take a plea? He turning state's evidence? He pointing a finger? What y'all think he gonna do?
All right, black man.
I didn't follow that case. I heard about it, but I didn't put any thought into it.
Basically, what happened is he had some friends over. They were
on a regular basis. It wasn't a one-time thing. He did this on a regular basis.
Yeah, they were making bets. They rented out his house. He would supply drinks. He would have companionship, so models would serve, alcohol or whatever. And then he was taking a cut of the monies that was being betted on. And so they raided him and arrested him for operating an illegal gambling facility. That's basically what it comes down to. Was it, I don't know. I can't even say, was it dumb? Was it this? It didn't matter. I mean, I don't know. I just think what you can do when you poor that they don't look at you is hard to do when you have some money. And that's what it comes down to. Having some money.
money and your skin tone. Let's be real. Because like I said, most of the reports we're going over is specifically big time being amplified because of skin tone more than what they're doing.
I think maybe
other counterparts are doing the same thing, bro. Nobody's doing anything different. We're not the first ones to invent the shit that's going on that's being amplified in the news. We're Johnny come lately most of the time. We're not the first ones to come up with the ideas.
I don't know, but like I'm looking on here and it says this is 2005. The La Cheese mob, and that's Italian. They ain't got nothing to do with black. Ran illegal gambling across New Jersey. 39 arrested.
How long ago was that?
April 10th, 2025.
How come that hasn't been in the news and accentuated?
I'm looking at it in the Daily Voice, White Plains, New York. What do you mean?
Daily Voice, not national news.
Bruh, if Jose across the street essayed somebody, that's going to be different than Michael Jordan or Michael Jackson essaying somebody. So you're talking about Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah, because you're melanated and famous, it blows it up.
Melanation, bro.
It absolutely does.
That has nothing to do with if it was. Hold up. When Tom Brady or Brett Favre did the same thing, Brett Favre was blasted. So he wasn't melanated.
That was back when we had morals in news. This is today. Now, the morality and who reports the news is totally different than back in the 80s. There still was some prominence in
Brett Favre written in the 80s, man.
Yes, it was 80s, 90s when Brett Favre went down. I remember he played for the Kansas City Royals, bro. That was my team. Stop playing.
Who are you talking about, man?
You said Brett Favre. I'm talking. That's football. But still, yeah. Brett Favre was what? Brett Favre was like 10 years ago.
What's that mean? I don't understand.
Moralities and ethics and the legitimacy of the press have been challenged ever since Donald Trump started saying fake news. He has torn down the legitimacy of what the news media was since he started writing.
As a matter of fact, it wasn't, man. It was 2 years ago.
But again, the whole thing is legitimacy of news now is being challenged by online media. Do you know right now there's a thing going on where you can start being held liable based on what you're being put out, even on the internet? They're now going to start challenging people in the rumors they put out online. So now they're going to start holding people online accountable for what they say because it's just too much of that shit going on. Now, if you remember back in the day, it was a prominent thing to be a reporter in the news and you hold your resources to your chest. They want you to divulge who your resource was and this, that, and the other. You had news media guys going to jail because they didn't want to release their sources. But guess what? Before it went to print, your editor had to check your sources. All sources of the story had to be verified. That's when media and news was really legit. There was whole movies written about how the news media used to project themselves as being honest in everything that was fact-checked and sources were double-checked before a report, a newsletter, or any kind of magazine article was produced. Donald Trump went in and started talking about fake news after knowing how hard it is to prove a story in the first place and started saying you're fake news without any proof of news not going through the verification process, sources being verified and double checked and anything else.
Let's go back. How that happened? No, I don't remember that because what you're saying is incorrect. One, you said it's melanated. Hold up. One, you said it's melanated people. I just showed you that it's not melanated people. It's just famous people.
You didn't demonstrate that at all because you just said there was a whole crime ring about it.
Hold up. I just said Brett Favre. You said it was nobody famous.
So longer, it wasn't even a big deal. They might have mentioned it a half a second and left it alone.
It wasn't. Even Shannon Sharpe mentioned it. What do you mean?
Of course, he's a black man wanted to bring it up.
Hold up. Then what you said was another facility because when you said when the news was good, Well, back in the 1970s, because I just listened to a podcast with a dude from the CIA when he was talking about how the CIA would pay the news to plant information. So they were doing it back then to have not only do we plant information within our system, we plant it in other people's system, other people's democracy. So
CIA wait a minute. Wait. Before you sketch over all that CIA mystery shit in order to plant bad news, they still needed to come up with sources and everything else. So you're saying what I said was let me finish my point. Was the news back when I was talking about it? Did they not have to check their sources before they produced the article or before they went to print?
No, because what they do is say we're holding our sources to our chest, and the CIA was.
That's what I said. Their sources had to be verified. What I said was sources had to be verified. You haven't said or discredited.
They're not verifying them. If the CIA comes to this person and says, "Hey, man, we got something on you," you're gonna have to.
That's the government. You bring it out an extreme. I'm talking about general stories. The government can always have an exclusion, just like the NDA. The government could force Cassie to testify and break an NDA. Absolutely, the government can do damn near anything they want. I'm talking about the general people cannot do that.
They can't do that. I'm gonna find this one because there's a Pulitzer Prize winner that got a Pulitzer Prize that lied. And so how can they check?
And the reason he probably lost it is because he lied and his sources were not true. He lied about his sources.
You just said they can. You just said it has to be verified.
It does, but there's a way to lie and try.
Example, I'm letting you know.
You just said the CIA was able to do it.
1981 Pulitzer Prize Jimmy World was a story about an 8-year-old heroin addict. It was revealed that it was entirely fabricated.
You and what else?
I'm only going to
wait. Finish the story. No, don't stop there.
Don't finish the story.
Why did he lie? Why did he lie?
He lied because they fabricate the story. What do you mean? He's trying to make
something. They either were looking for ratings or whatever else. Why did he lie about it?
Let's say he lied to get ratings. Okay. He still lied. No sources would check.
Okay, but here's the thing.
Got a Pulitzer Prize.
Listen to how you're saying it. Back then, it was a big deal.
What I'm saying is, you just said that back in the day, it had to be the news was the news.
I'm saying deal back then. No, listen. This is my point. My point is, it was a big deal because he lied then. It's not a big deal when you lie now.
It is a big deal when you lie now.
No, nobody lie. Nobody writes about people that lie anymore. It's not a big deal. So what?
Hold it. They don't write about it, Ronan. Why is it that when the President Trump came on in 2020, they would say lie. They would have
blew it off like it was no big deal.
Ronan, if you don't lie,
he blew it off like it wasn't a big deal.
It don't matter if you blew it off. You just said nobody's fact checking them.
It's not a big deal anymore. Back then, it was. You brought up a point in 1990 or 1989 or whatever. That's when lying made a difference. That's when it was a big deal. Now it's not a big deal.
Brother, they've been lying. They lied about the Gulf War.
Then what was the big deal about fact checking?
They lied about Gaza.
Wait. No, listen. During the 60s, you had to fact check everything. Now it's not a big deal, bro.
Brother, they lied about JFK. I mean, what are you talking about? They lied about Martin Luther King.
Let me say this. I'm going to say this.
You keep saying they not lying.
Anybody can fact check what I'm saying. The process in order to be a good media company was you had to fact check and your sources have to be proven. If you don't believe me, go Google it. However, people want to twist up what the perception of fucking truth is nowadays. It doesn't fucking matter. What I'm saying is when I was talking about media and when it was actually good was when you had sources, you had to fact check them and they had to be fucking verified. Whether that's true now, it does not matter.
If that's the case, how could they lie about the Black Panther Party? How could they lie about the brother in Chicago when they burnt down, or what, Chicago? What's my man's name? Frederick, somebody, when they blew up that thing in Detroit, his house, and they killed him.
All I have to do is go in there and say, what was the process of the news checking when fact checking was important? It will tell you everything. You didn't give me proof about perception of now. I'm talking about when it was real news.
That is how far do I need to go back? When was the Black Panther Party?
There's always one-offs. We can say there's always one-offs in every story we can talk about. But that wasn't the general way
Tell
that
me a
news
date.
was
Tell me a
produced.
time,
Here's the
and
thing.
I'll tell you when it
People bring
wasn't
up
news.
people bring up one-offs just to
Tell me a
discredit.
date. Were you gonna be the 60s, the 70s, or the 80s?
Listen. People pull up one-offs to throw off the truth of the overall general statement. There's always one-offs in every situation. But the general truth of why people were prideful about being an article writer or a newspaper man when writing meant something was their sources were checked and verified. The news was accurate. It wasn't pie in the sky. It wasn't being dictated by the owners of the newspaper that owned 5 newspapers that even though they competed against each other, they had same ownership. That's the shit that's going on now. Conglomerates.
Brother, the news was never accurate. The news was never accurate. Why do you think there was black newspapers, man? Black newspapers became about because they got tired of the white newspapers saying anything wrong against them.
I'm not going to go round and around on something on hypotheticals.
Because every time I keep saying, give me a date, you don't give me a date. You can't just say
bro, I can go through here. Listen.
Time frame?
Listen.
Give me a time
reporter, frame. Listen. This is in the 20th century. I just asked ChatGPT, was processing a newspaper or fact checking? Yes, there was a process that was reputable newspapers, reputable newsrooms, where it was a structured and deliberate way of traditional news in the mid 20th century. Not now. He didn't say now. They said mid 20th century because the shit has changed. Reporters, research, and sourcing. Reporters gather information through interviews, public records, wire services, and direct observation. Editors expected at least 2 independent sources to confirm key facts. 2 sources for anything in contentions to this politically damaged or any kind of story. It had to be verified 2 times over. Reporters kept detailed notebooks and tape recordings so that their facts could be verified later if they were challenged. Why? Because newspapers back then were getting sued for defamation of character. Nobody wanted to print shit unless it was sourced and verified because they didn't want to be sued. Now with these conglomerates owning all these newspapers and all these channels, now you got dictated news where they can just say one story and it's already been proven. Stories have come out. They have multiple different channels and they all had the same fucking script saying it. Now, yes, it's nowhere you can say that the news people don't lie. But back then, absolutely, there was a process in place in order to verify a story before it went to print.
Can you ask ChatGPT since you're on ChatGPT?
I just did that.
I'm telling you what. Can you ask him? Can you ask him what stories were proven very false in the 20th century?
Now I just said mid 20th century.
But you just said everything had to be verified. I want to know in the 20th century how many stories were proven false. How many defamation characters, how many things were there? That's all I want to know. And you can say by reputable newspapers too.
Mm-hmm. All right. The rate of correction for reputable newspapers in that era, mid 20th century, is where I'm staying at. Often less than 1 to 2% of the stories published in a given year were wrong. Less than 1 to 2% of all the thousands of stories, when they had that process in place, were proven wrong.
I'm about to just ask you for this list. It gave me some, so I'm just asking for the list because you said it was done.
But how many hundreds of thousands of stories is that list coming from that were published?
You just said it was all reputable, man.
And this, listen. And let me give you the time frame. The mid 20th century, especially between the 1940s and the 1940s and 1970s, 1%, 1 to 2%. You can list a whole bunch of names and you can list a whole bunch of stories, but it's still less than 1 to 2% of all the stories that came out during that era. And they listed these newspapers.
Reputable, like it was a better era.
Listen. They're listing the newspapers they source this information from. Reputable U.S. newspapers like the New York Times, the Washington Post, Chicago Tribune, and the Wall Street Journal rarely had retroactively very large portions of their stories because they already vetted heavily before publication. So these are the newspapers I'm talking about between the 1940s and 70s that were considered reputable back then, that vetted heavily, had less than 1 to 2% of their stories published that were not legitimate in one way. And most of them were because of misspellings or something like that. Wrong dates, minor numerical errors, not the big facts of the story.
All right. Let's move on because we're not going to agree on that. We're not.
I used to love reading. I used to love reading. And I swear to God, I used to love those movies where they talked about newspaper investigative reporters going in and digging deep to find a story. I used to follow that shit. I used to love that shit for a reason, because they were telling the truth. What do we all want as people? We want true facts. We don't want incorrect information. We want true facts on things.
No, we don't. What man?
No, you don't. I do.
Brother, the people don't want true facts. Why do you think the National Enquirer sells so much? Nobody wants true facts. We can come on here and say the facts about traveling all the time.
You're saying people prefer. Listen, that's a very small. Listen, there's a very. I would say the people that grew up in the era of the Jerry Springer, Maury Povich age, they might want that fucking fantasy drama filled bullshit. But a lot of us that grew up, we just want the facts, real facts told in a true way to give us an idea of what's going on. You want to be lied to, that's fine. That's why a lot of people have lost faith in the news, because we have seen those videos and those memes of newspaper or different news media channels saying the same goddamn script. That wasn't back then. You had famous people like Walter Cronkite and all these other news media people. They weren't coming off of a script written in general for everybody else. They wrote those articles. They did the interviews. They did the hard work to tell the stories. They were looked up to back then. You ain't got no one newspaper person that's actually looked up to for their articles nowadays. Back then, you had whole news people that were held up in such high regard. They were like famous people. They were like great.
It's the same, man. It just matters who you are. People look up to Bill O'Reilly, Tucker Carlson.
That's not nobody. That is not no legitimate news, man.
They look up to him, man. Hold up. When you go on, when you interview him, they say, "Who told you that?" Bill O'Reilly. So the people still look up to him. It don't matter. People believe certain things.
We'll let people think what they want to think. But that's the whole reason why everybody can make comments now, because nothing's being held to being real, true facts. It's all hypothetical, speculative, drama-filled information that's out there now.
And that's what the people love.
Yeah, obviously. Look at the crash outs in the travel space.
Yeah,
they're getting I mean, I just sat there myself and watched the PAB versus Homies Hub editing competition they just had. 500 people in that fucking room, bro.
What was they editing? They was editing videos?
They were editing videos, and they would show their top 3 edited videos, 2-minute cuts of their travel experiences. It was a good entertaining thing, but that's what you got 500 people in there looking at that. That's what our people like to see. It's unfortunate, but that's the truth.
I'm changing my content. I gotta change it up. I'm sorry. I'm changing it. I'm about to.
And then you got this young man here, Travis Hunter. We're not going to talk about him too long because we still need to get up the facts. Everybody warned this young brother. The girl will get an NDA or some kind of legal document to protect his millions from the NFL. And right now there's rumors on him that we need to verify because we can't tell the truth. We don't know. You know, that the NFL is looking at him for SA, or not spousal abuse, and other allegations that she's already trying to say is going on. And then there's also an innuendo that he's gone out, or she's gone out and already had an affair within weeks of them getting married. So, I mean, this just runs right into that story.
Yeah, I don't know what the rumors are. I mean, I hear it, but I don't really know what's going on with him. You know, they say divorce. I got to wait to see if what comes out and see if it's true. I don't know. I don't know.
It seems like black men are taking a bunch of L's here, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Black men are taking L in the workplace. Black men taking L's overseas. Black men taking L's in relationship. Black men taking L's in pretty much in everything right now. Like, what's going on?
Man,
That's
what's my man's name? Cash Money. Who is that? What's his name?
Birdman.
Birdman.
Yeah, he got married.
Tony Braxton done dated Tony Braxton for 18 years. They get married, and 2 days later, she's want a divorce and want $100.
Turn around and take all his money after 2 days.
Man, I mean,
the audacity.
That's why.
You know.
I mean, I don't know as men what we're supposed to do. You can't get married. You can't get married. You can't just live with somebody. It's hard to just go overseas. I mean, what are we supposed to do? You can't just date.
You can go overseas and find the right type of woman and bring you grapes and drinks, and you know what I'm saying. But
nah, brother, what they say about the age? You need a Elvira or whatever her name is. You're messed up. You're supposed to be dating an old lady your age.
Right. That's my girl. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's all false perception. Like they say, between Fearless and Black Man Travels, y'all shouldn't even have successful marriages. Y'all shouldn't even already had kids. Y'all should have never brought them back to America. You know, they'll say anything online to get the hype going.
But do you think
let's just say the demonstration that if you do things right, good things happen. You two gentlemen, maybe me in the future. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know, man. I'm thinking about it. And I'll talk to some people, and I'm telling you, I know BMT, you met your woman, like, you know, some years ago. I met my woman some years ago. I look out here now. I'm starting to feel how these dudes feel. I look and like, man, I hear some of the women talking, and it's scary. I mean, it's a scary situation where you can't no flirting. You can't say too much. You can't look. It's like, what, you know, do I approach? Don't approach. You don't know what the intentions are. And and we talk about no shame. These women have no shame. Like, I can be a stripper, 3 kids, 3 different men, and I still want you to take me on a certain place, and that's what I deserve. And so it's almost like you would have to kind of be by yourself. When I was, I'm gonna tell you, I was at a cigar bar when I was in Bogota, and I'm talking to this is a white dude from North Carolina, and we just chilling, and he said he met a girl. I can't even say met. He matched with a girl on Bumble, and that a girl, you know, he said she had pretty lips. You basically just showed her face. You know, a gym photo, and then one out photo, like, you know, just showed like the cut off of her breast, you know, a low top. And he said to her, you know, after they talked, he said, you have very beautiful lips. I would hate to leave here without seeing them in person.
Oh.
But no, he said on her face. That's all her picture had. It wasn't a smile, wasn't a face. She just had, and in her thing, she said something like, it was in Spanish, something like I have black lips. You know, I guess it was written a little bit better. Like people compliment me for my black lips. Black, you know. And so he said he complimented her.
That's an open question because you can assume lips could be upstairs or downstairs. I'm just saying.
That's what she came with him at. You must want sex with me and this. He said, lady. He said, if I was trying to make it sexual, I would have said something about, you know, you got photos in here basically showing your ass, you showing your cleavage. I didn't say anything about that. I can't say that you have a nice smile because you're not smiling. So I complimented you on the only thing I could see, which was your lips, of which you said everybody compliments you on. The way she said it, and she wanted to meet him, he said, man, I couldn't meet her. He said she was basically already saying like a sexual assault or something like that. He said, I couldn't even meet her. He said, he had to tell her, I'm not interested anymore. If a compliment gets this kind of reaction, I don't know what anything else would be. So he just said, yeah, we're not compatible.
Right. Plus, you have to think about where was your mind at? If you made the statement initially about people like your black lips, and you only have a picture of your face, but instantly you as the woman assume you're talking about the lower region lips. Where the fuck is your mind at? That's a red flag in itself for her to even come back like that.
And it's no taking a girl to just a regular restaurant. You know, hey, let's go to just somewhere simple. There's no simple no more. It's get as much money or spend what you can. I want to go here. You can't ask a woman, where would you like to go? That's a question that you're gonna get killed upon.
It's a loaded question.
Because where they say is a place they ain't never been, a place they can't afford, nothing. I'm overhearing a conversation when I'm out. I went to the cigar bar here at Twin Peaks, and I'm just overhearing this conversation. The girl's trying to move out of her house. She don't have her deposit. She don't have her first month's rent, so she's, working. So I'm working overtime to get this stuff. And the guy says, like, yeah, where we go out to eat? And she says, man, what is that place called? EV's. It's a seafood place. And it's not like a cheap seafood place. And she says something like, oh, they got the wine I like, Eddie V's Prime Seafood. And I'm thinking, shit, the wine you got, you don't have enough money to pay your rent. You can't move. You live in basically is Oakland, which is like kind of like the hood. And I'm like, that is what's on your mind. Eddie V's. Where I just don't understand it. I can't fathom it. The further I would have rather said, look, I tell you what, I would have loved to go on to Eddie V's. That's going to cost me about $150 out of pocket. I would rather us go to Fridays, Applebee's, spend $30, and you just give me the rest. I can put on the deposit. I could have respected that. But it's like, let me just get everything I can. I'm broke. And I had a TikTok video that came up where a woman said, if a man doesn't make double what I make, he's broke. And I'm like, well, what does that make you? And there was a woman on there saying, that's not what she said. She said it different. I said, man, they don't even hear the things the same way. So
no, they don't.
They don't. I know Black Man Travels always says what he could do and this do. Brother, I'm telling you, I think we still talking in the past. Me just sitting back listening, man, it's like a conversation, man.
I mean, right now, if I was single, I'll still go out. I'll still go out and mingle, but I won't put in any effort. Like, I'll still entertain, conversate, whatever, but would I pursue? No, I would not do that. But I'll still go out. I mean, I don't believe in this whole hermit bullshit. stay in the house until you travel. No, I'm gonna still go out and enjoy myself and smoke a good cigar. Go out there and mingle, network.
But that's you going out. These chicks don't, because you can say, man, I'm gonna have to go out. Like when I went out, it cost me $16. I had my own cigar. I had 3 shots, which was $4 a piece, and then I tipped. So I was like, oh, that was a cool date for me, and I spent an hour and a half in there relaxing. If I'd had a chick with me, bro.
But I think for me, if I were single, I would go to the spots that I know where I can get some action. Like here in Atlanta, there's certain spots where the ratio is probably like 20-1. Professional women that just, they want a little cuddle time. But would I go out there and pursue somebody like trying to entertain them for something serious? No. I'll let my intentions know up front. Yeah. And this is what it is. If it's not for you, it's okay. You can walk out the door. I'm okay with that. Now, granted, this is the mindset that I'm in at this stage of my life. So, and of course, I'll be going overseas very frequent. Possible. So it's like, I mean, I'll be going like probably once a month. Like, all right, let's go weekend trip.
I just don't understand it. I don't understand it, man. I think Joseph said something right here. Yep. This is what it comes down to. Looking at other men having a good time is a good time for other men. Man, that's what they do. They enjoy looking at somebody else's good time and they won't do it. And those dudes really ain't even having a good time. They having problems.
They're not. The shit that I could show, but I can't show because my situation. And I'm like, wow, like, damn shame.
So I'm perplexed with
something I was doing in Colombia before Colombia became popular, where I had to worry about getting drugged or whatever. I'm like, man, been there, done that. I'm good. Keep it moving. But in regards to that football player, man, I don't know. I think he's like one of the dumbest person with a smile I ever met. It's like so young, so gullible, so stupid. And I don't feel sorry for him either.
You don't feel sorry for nobody.
No, I don't. I mean, because it gets to a point where you've been warned plenty of times. It's like you set me down, you talk to me, you kind of like forecast, hey, this is what's gonna happen if you don't take this action. And I don't listen, I deserve everything that comes to me. It is what it is, man.
I want to agree with you, but I almost want to say that's kind of how it. I don't want to say how it should be, but I don't know. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, they see us coming a long way away, and there's. So here's the thing. All right. Here goes the problem. We say that, but we also tell guys, get somebody who was with you when you was building, before you got to the finish line. That's kind of what he did. He got somebody with, I mean, I'm not saying this right. I'm just saying what we tell people. Get somebody who was building with you, who was there when you didn't have anything. And he did that, and that still didn't work out. So I don't know what to tell guys nowadays. Because the building part, they cashing in on it. They like, I'm putting my bet down. And I seen one thing where the girl was an influencer, and she showed up at the what was that? The basketball player, where this girl dumped him because.
Oh, the one that was OnlyFans, or I know which one you're talking about. The basketball player. They're an older couple.
No,
and when he started,
this one, he didn't get drafted. and she left him.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I never heard about that one.
He signed like a big deal. He signed a big deal like 5 years later. They're like, where's she at? I mean, left him. Got like he didn't get drafted that night. She was like, well, I gotta fly home. And was like gone. I mean,
But
so
was she an American girl? Was she a foreign girl? Which was
American girl, you know.
But we talked about this before, and we talked about it specifically with athletes. A lot of our women in the Western Hemisphere of a certain color don't want to invest in time. They wouldn't buy a $5 fucking Starbucks. Remember? But yet and still, when we got to the finish line and we were already ready to start earning that money, and we had a particular other shade on our arm, they wanted to get upset.
I'll just give you the name. Christian Wood's girlfriend left him due to his undrafted status. I dropped her off at the airport after the draft and never seen her again.
Wow.
Damn. I mean, he signed like a $50 million deal, you know, a few years later, but I mean, she's with him before the finish line. She's just like, look, you ain't placed, man. I mean,
yeah, but she traded up or traded out for what? Where is she at now? She with a ball player? Her best first option was him. Her best first option was him, because a lot of women now, and I've been seeing a lot of memes and a lot of things online now, where women have stepped away from relationships and doubled back because they thought there was something better out there, but they realized they had the best man in front of them. I've had that happen to me several times. Women have always tried to double back.
Sorry.
I don't. Yeah, I mean they do, but I don't know. It's hard out here, brothers. I understand you. I mean, I would not make a good boyfriend.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't or would, Black Man Travels?
No, I wouldn't. I think now this mindset that I'm in, this point in my life, nah, I'm looking out for self.
Yep, I'd be so ruthless, man, and not even ruthless. I'd just be upfront. Look,
yeah, no, the
time
thing
is
is,
limited.
I'll be super nice, super respectful. You know, I'll treat you accordingly, but you will know my intentions, and there's no if, but, or what around it. You will not be confused what the situation is. This is what it is. And if I don't like something, I'll instantly block you or tell you to get the fuck out.
Exactly.
There's no gray area with me. It's either black or white.
This is exactly how it is. I don't have the time. If you ain't on the program, it's not going to work out. And it's sad that, you know, you have to be like that now. You can't even, you can't waste the time. I think a lot of these guys, you know, they have been. I'm thinking even with Shannon Sharpe, maybe he just wasn't harsh enough, you know?
I mean, it's the same thing with travel. It's the same thing with traveling, man. I think a lot of guys, like, you know,
he was harsh enough. They used the harshness against him. What you mean? He was talking about, girl, you go out there and say this shit, we gonna have problems. Damn near threatened the girl. Remember?
A lot of guys just sell fantasy, man. Just look, if this is a transactional thing, keep it at that. There's no lovey, I miss you, none of that crap. This is a transaction. This is what it's meant to be. There's no need for, like, again, I tell like, now that my son is traveling overseas now, my nephews are, the younger nephews are, let them know, listen, if you're gonna go overseas, have a good time. Hey, there's no need to stay in contact with these people. Once you got what you want, block her. That's it. There's no need. Listen, you're young. You're 21, 22 years old. There's no need for you to take care of anyone responsibilities. Go out there, have a good time. You know, if you want to donate to a special cause, go ahead and donate. But after that, when you get on that plane, block it.
I give him a little leadway. I say don't block, stay in contact.
No.
No, I say stay in contact until you get that first text message about
they're gonna get it. That's the point, though. That's the point. They're gonna get it. It's just a matter of time. They're gonna get it. You can avoid all that headache, all that bullshit, just by simply, as you board on that plane, block. That's it.
That's a shame, but that's where we at. I mean, that's exactly where we at. I don't know, fellas. It's a cruel world out there.
It's a different time period. I mean, there's been so many shifts in ethics and morals and everything else in the last 50-something years of my life. It's just a different time. And it's now global. It's not even local anymore. It's global.
Man. There was the guy who got well, let me look this up. I just want to get her out. Do you remember the guy? He was a guy. He got sued by the woman. He took her out and just didn't want to talk to her anymore, and she took him to court for $10,000. I don't
remember that one. I remember Israel Adesanya's girlfriend wanting to break up with him after he was a champion for the UFC and wanted to take his money, like she contributed to him becoming a champion. She barely dated him for 6 months. She wanted half. But he's smart enough to have all his money given to his mother. His money runs his bank account. They can't sue him.
Just think about this one. This one is, you just can't do it. Man who abandoned a blind date in a restaurant along with 23 of her relatives sues. So he goes on a blind date and she invited all of her relatives. And he was like, oh, I ain't paying for this. Like, you invited me to pay for all your people? Oh, no, I'm gone. On our first date, she sues him, man. I mean, it's like the audacity. You can't go on it. I'm going to see if I can find this other one, though. What do you do?
You can't do it. I mean, all you can do is say, what's this? No, I just want to invite some family. Do I understand this is all individual checks? I'm not paying for the whole family show up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this.
Some dudes are even afraid to have that conversation.
I'm gonna see what I can skip on this one. It may give some feedback. I'm gonna try to limit that feedback a little bit. But this is the one I was talking about. So there's going to be a little bit of news. I'll try to skip past this.
A date. I don't know, worth filing a lawsuit over? One Michigan woman apparently thinks, yes, it is. Sued her one-time prospective.
Oh, shoot. I'm sorry, brother. It's not. It says sharing. Why isn't it sharing? All right. 1 second. Oh. Did it move up? Is there something that's blocking it?
Should be. I'll remove that off the back. Hold on. I'll move that.
There she goes.
Prospective suitor for $10,000. Kashante Short claims intentional infliction of emotional distress, saying that Richard Jordan hurt her because
why do I know it was a black woman?
It happened to be her mother's birthday and her mother had just passed away. Now, during a recent court appearance on Zoom, Jordan said this was a waste of the court's time and that he's simply being sued because of a bad date.
To be honest with you, sir, I thought this was just going to be thrown out. We had a date, one date, and nothing else after that.
Do not insult my intelligence as if I do not understand what the word perjury means.
Be quiet while I'm talking. You need to be quiet. Can you mute her, please?
Because perjury is a criminal offense.
I remember this.
So Short has been ordered to pay all fees and expenses for the hearing. The judge ordered the case to be moved to a different court system.
Look at this man.
It's really the wildest thing I think I've seen.
Look at this man. He goes on a date and was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not going on a date with you. You crazy. That's it. And so she sues him. 10,000. He's like, bruh, we actually in court? Like, we really in court for this?
Right.
He's like, this should have been thrown out. And it's not. So he has to waste his time, go to court, all of this over a bad date. I mean, as a man, what do you do? And it was another one where the woman, the guy took her out on 2 dates. On the 3rd date, they went out. She paid. After the date, he said, yeah, I just didn't feel what I needed to feel. You know, I'm not going to go forward with this.
But
She
I don't
wrote
know.
and said, can I have the money back for the 3rd date?
I don't know if y'all watched the internet lately with this young lady that's 18 years old. I forgot what her name is. She just turned 18.
I don't even know how she got famous.
OnlyFans, 1
18-year-old
day,
girl right
and over what, $3 to $5 million? You got that many simps in the world that is doing that. So women are looking for the cash
in
out.
the first date.
They're looking for the cash out.
No. What made her
even at 18 now?
No. What made her famous? I don't know why. Meaning, there's a lot of 18.
I think she was like already an IG type of personality or something. My girl even sent that to me the other day. I was like, "What the morality though?" It's just like
made, you know, $1 million in just the first 4 hours.
Right.
So I don't know who she is. Lil Tay. Who is Lil Tay?
Yeah, Lil Tay, exactly.
I never knew who she was. I mean,
I didn't know who she was. I just seen the thing that she sent me, and then I saw a couple other YouTubers that put it out there too. And I'm like, the hell is this person, and why is she getting so much attention? But dudes are thirsty.
So she was just an influencer who called herself the youngest flexer of the century with some rap videos. Man, to be 18 again, I don't understand it. Yeah, it's gonna be hard out here for this next generation, man. It is. It has to be. Absolutely. The pendulum has to swing some way, and I don't know where it's swinging.
That's the whole thing. The pendulum's not swinging that way in America. You got to go somewhere else. Man. Or you're gonna be digging real hard for somebody that's not looking to try to cash out.
That's crazy.
But fellas, we're at 2 hours and 26 minutes.
Yeah, we can go ahead and wrap it up, man. Yep. I feel for brothers now, man. I don't know what to tell them. It ain't, you know, it ain't even making money. You can make money and they still, you know, look good. They think they look better. I mean, the ugly ones want half your money. I mean, goodness. You just have to be, you would, yeah, I would get married. I'd be a whore.
Hey, so how was your trip in Bogota, man? Your overall trip? What was
the, man, it was good and bad. Well, not bad. I can't say the bad part. Good. I think my last day when you wanted me to travel, I was waiting for a brother to meet up, and that, you know, brothers, 1 o'clock became 2 o'clock, 2 o'clock became 3, became I'm leaving at 3:30, text at 4. I'm just now leaving. It's an hour and a half traffic. And by the time we got together, it was like 8 o'clock at night. So that whole day, you know, and I wasn't going to go down south at 8 o'clock at night, starting the day off. And I said, man, so my last day was kind of just screwed, you know, waiting for my man to kind of show up and do that. I don't know what that was. Overall, though, lovely. You know what? This is the first time I had been there that it did not rain. I had no rain. Beautiful weather outside. I got a chance to shoot a lot of little videos that I wanted to, you know, what I could buy for $20, you know, my room, some of the, I went to the restaurant. I wish I could, my man was on here. I went to the restaurant, Cantina 15. As much as I went by there, I never even knew that restaurant was there. which is crazy. So overall, man, very relaxing, very nice. I could see even trying to live there. So my next trip is trying to get there and then get back to San Andreas. So I'm gonna see how I can do that. But lovely, lovely.
Yeah, okay.
It's crazy. You know what the crazy thing is? You know, as often as I go there, man, I done seen the same Venezuelan with the same baby that's giving the same money in the same place. I'm like, bro, man, you got to remember me, man. You was holding a baby, now your baby walking. I mean, this. But other than that, even met a dude, an American dude, man. He lived in Houston. He's down there doing some business. I seen the most black people that I have ever seen in Bogota. The most black people. And when
tell them what you told me about them not even knowing what a PP.
Brother, they have no idea what a passport, bro, is. One dude said he lived in, he was doing something in Kenya, and I said, "Oh man, there's an influencer, you know, Austin Holloman that goes there." No idea who that person was. Nothing about the travel space, man. I mean, it was just all a ghost to them. Like, this is not even a thing they knew, did, which was crazy because we seem like that's all of our content that we put out there. And every black dude I met, you know, just one was a table of three who had no idea. Another brother was down there. He lives in Medellin with his girl. His girls, he worked. Hey, I tried to get him on the show, but he's kind of private. He was in the service, moved there, retired, is a psychologist. His girl has a channel where she does psychology, speaks black girl, beautiful. She was running a marathon down there, is a psychologist, English, speaks well, but not even amongst the space. And she knew a little bit of it because she was, when I said something about like, you know, like the black women, and she was like, yeah, sometimes I come down and they get, you know, they get like an arrogance or an attitude, which she just didn't understand. So she did, you know, they do notice that, you know, that our women go down there with some type of attitudes. Other than that, you know, good people. Yeah, some good people.
Okay.
We got to get down there, man. My hotel, my room. I mean, they had the tub that sat right there and seeing everything. I just relaxing at night. Probably everybody, if I had my lights on, they're just zooming in on a brother getting out the tub naked. Y'all got me. But the place I stayed, it was maybe not that far from Park 93, a little bit further. There's was it Calle 100? But it seemed to be like a place that they had specifically for like maybe travelers, because they had a whole workstation floor, had a restaurant there, a heated pool, a gym, a place where you can get a massage at, a whole outdoor patio. I mean, it had basically everything in that one facility that kind of kept you there. So you could actually live there, do a lot of work, and still get things done. So if I was ever going to be like a remote person, that would be a place I stay. Because you could go at lunchtime, go downstairs and get a massage, or go downstairs, jump in the pool. Had a sauna, all of that.
I'm definitely ready to get back on the traveling trip, man.
So what I do suggest this, and I don't think I did it as well this time, is that I was looking at a lot of travel content. And I think before you go, you have to kind of mentally prepare yourself as to what type of content you want to shoot and set your days up for that. So you're just not walking and rambling. So if you're saying, all right, I know I'm going to shoot something about some food, or I know I'm going to shoot something about this. Throughout your day, you may be shooting for 3 or 4 different videos. You know, like if I woke up in the morning, I say, oh man, I want to see what I can buy for $20. That might be one. And another one might be, you know, what do people think about Americans traveling? Well, I might meet somebody and still talk about that subject. So I think if you're really going to get serious about the travel videos we want to do, you have to have a mental list before you go of the certain videos you want to shoot. And so that
I typically do that. Like I normally have all my activities planned out, what I want to record, what gear to bring with me, everything else. So yeah.
Not just activities. I'm talking about that because you can do activities. I want you to have a theme to it. And when I say a theme, like the first thing I had because I was asking ChatGPT, it gave me like a list of 10 things. What does $10 get you in Bogota, Colombia? So when I woke up in the morning, I went and got some fresh juice. I got an arepa and some yogurt. And I spent $3.66. Went and got my got a pedicure, manicure. That was $7. So $10, that's what they got me. But in your mind, you had to think, what am I shooting content for? If not, you just, and I've done it before. And maybe you don't have this problem, but I've had this problem where I'm just shooting videos, but there's really no theme when I wanted to put it together to say, this is what this video is. This thumbnail is this, or what does because you see it, what does a $50 Airbnb look like? And that's what I did. So I went in, I wanted to film not only the Airbnb, I wanted to film every place in there to show that. And so in my mind, I had several videos that I already had the thumbnail and the title to get there. If not, you just shooting, unless you're just doing live on the street walking, you just shooting no content that goes anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely can't wait to get back to it again.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, brother. Go ahead and let's jump off. Let's get some rest. Hey, we appreciate everybody watching the stream. If you're watching a replay or something, please put something in the comments. Say you watched us. We appreciate it. We want to give a shout out to anyone who stayed. I'm giving a shout out to David Dice. I think he is a subscriber to the other channel. Thank you, David. Thank you for the comments. We appreciate that. So please go subscribe to all of our channels. Make sure you comment. Make sure you watch, even if you just set the phone down. Give us some views, give us some ads, all of that. Liking is good. Watching is better. Cash money is even better than that. Shoot, we need coffee. We need shots.
Yeah.
You pay somebody $100 and something. Shoot, I know you can shoot me 50 cents.
Yeah, definitely. Great show. Guys, just be mindful how you move, especially in the States with the ladies. And if you're rich and successful and you want some like freaky action, call that escort.
Facts. We ready?
Yes, sir. I'm gonna hit this.
All right, guys.
Yes, sir. Maybe.
I know I've been quiet for a minute, I've been grinding, still in it, I've been counting these digits, excuse me. I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong, that's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I don't. The proof is in the story, you can see that, excuse me. The crash came when the cash came, spend it for you get it like those rookies all on draft day. For the love like it's match game, hit the ground. They really do it for my last name. They act different when the facts change. I'm not with the tip for tag games. In my own league, I don't hang with lane. Excuse me. I know I've been quiet for a minute, but I'm back on my business. If you see me, don't trip, just excuse me. Wrong if I do, wrong if I don't. That's why I do me no matter what, so excuse me. Lie if I do, lie if I